Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to ESA Cup Season 7. My name is Bosa Max, and I'm here accompanied by Nash. Good evening, Nash.
Hello, Bozo. How's it going?
I'm actually doing well. I'm actually very excited to be back. here it's now the first. This is the fourth week of ESA Cup, while we're now doing Group D, which technically has only been playing two games so far. This will be their third one, where they will have their fourth match as like a catch up from week one on this Saturday. But yeah, like week four is technically where a lot of things will be happening and where a lot of teams will kind of be like going towards a fixed location, like a fixed position in their rankings, and kind of be like the match will be very decisive on who will actually progress to the next stage or not.
Well, to be fair, game one of the day is probably one of our most anticipated games of the tournament so far. We do have Zach Gaming versus LDL, and they're the two top of their group at the minute. Obviously, not all of the play days have been played, but you can kind of make assumptions based on the teams that these teams are supposed to play. For example, in Playday 1, LDL was
Yeah.
supposed to be playing against Eagle Empire, who are second from bottom of the group. And in Playday 1, the side of Zach Gaming was supposed to be playing Entropy, who are at the bottom of the group, just based on round difference, but they're at the bottom of the group. So it's one of those situations where in these, this sort of matchup is
Mm-hmm.
essentially very, very anticipated. But I'm pretty sure if I am reading the information that we had previous correctly, the top two of both Zach and LDL are basically confirmed.
No, not for this group. For Group
Not
D,
yet.
still loads of things can happen. Because keep in mind again, these
Ah.
teams only play two matches. The only confirmed teams that we have so far within ESA Cup Season 7 is when we go and take a look at Group B. We cannot bring this on the stream right now, but like I have right in front of me on Wikipedia, are Flawless 7 and E-Wave. Those are the only two teams that are 100% confirmed to progress into Stage 2 so far. Of course, all the upcoming games still matter to them because like the points, the round difference, and everything will still decide the seeding for the Swiss stage. But those are the only two confirmed ones so far. And also one of the interesting things is that LDL is like one of the teams that we will see so far is the only team that is on a perfect score at the moment. Every other team in whatever group at least lost a match or went to overtime or whatsoever. But LDL is the only team that's currently like on the flawless 2-0-0-0. And if they win today, then they will be the only team at a 3-0-0-0. So that's a big thing for them.
If there's any team that can stop this run inside of this group, it's got to be Zach Gaming. They've come out of the previous play day with a win against Mafia Squad. I'm pretty sure. And well, either way, they beat Mafia Squad in an overtime match anyway. Yeah, last play day they came out of a overtime win against Mafia Squad. So looking at how like strong in quotation marks, because we haven't really seen much from these teams. It's kind of like those top three are probably going to be like very formidable teams coming into the next stage of ESA. And seeing it be so close between Mafia, Zach, and LDL, 4, 5, and 6 points respectively, it's one of those where this game could definitely spell the first place for this group. And I think more than anything, I'd like to see it hard fought by both sides.
Certainly, I would love to see that as well. Like, of course, Group D, that's the one we're going to see today. It's going to be a very important week for them. Like I already said in the very beginning, they're going to have two matches this week, which is a bit exceptional. All has to do with like the server issues we had back in week one. But they're basically going to catch up their first play day on Saturday. So they have two matches this week. But if you take a quick look, like I said, LDL, they could technically score 9 points today, which just taking a quick look. Means that if Eagle Empire and Entropy Gaming, either of both of them, don't score any points today, means that LDL could then secure their spot in the next stage for them. But if either Eagle Empire or Entropy Gaming still score some points today, then they still have some kind of chance to still make it into the next stage. But things will get very tricky for the teams. Like for both Eagle Empire and Entropy Gaming, it's basically now or never. Because if they don't score points today, then they will be in a very, very bad position.
Yeah, like exactly as you said, both teams could be in a very, very bad position if they aren't able to come out of this play day with points. And just looking at it as a whole right now, realistically, if Mafia Squad, well, if Mafia Squad beat Eagle Empire, it's kind of over for both of these squads, because it's like you only have one Playday left. You've got to count. You've got to count on EOS losing in order to be able to actually get an overtake on the go. And even then, only one of you can really make it. So you've got to desperately fight for that sort of information. But I am getting word that the game has started. Are we going to be transferring over to that
No, that will be
relatively immediately?
no, we will
or is
get
that going to be in a couple minutes?
Yes, we're getting good to get 3 more minutes to just quickly talk about the upcoming game. That's of course Zark versus LDL. So let's just talk a bit more about these two teams and the match that we're going to be playing. So let's just start here with the team cards indeed for Zark. Like we already have a little bit of information from this team right now. They're currently placed in the second place in their group, so they're actually doing pretty well so far. Have won every single match, and the best map is Skyscraper, while the worst map is Chalet. So that's Zach Gaming for you. And then these we also have LDL. Actually, we can do this one
on the side of LDL, a team that had a pretty good run so far in the side, in this group as a whole. We do have Eli as their captain, Axie, again, Berry, Brisk, Madrino, Mud, Galdino, and Yesme. They're very good players, and realistically, obviously, you can only bring 5 to the server. And the 5 that we normally see are Eli, Axie, Brisk, Madrino, and Yesme. They're going to be like the main ones you really see in these games. And generally speaking, they're all very, very good and consistent players. And that has only been reinforced by what we've seen from them so far. So let's just cut over to the map bans, and we'll have a quick look at what they're going to be playing today. Chalet, the side of Zach Gaming's worst map.
Yeah, indeed. I was about to say
LDL's worst map as well.
I think it's either's worst map. So this is going to be a very interesting match because, of course, like you said, it's the worst map of either of the two teams. Both of these teams have 2 wins on the board, have 100% win rates, and it's basically the number 1 versus the number 2 of the group. So this match should be spectacular. So I'm actually very curious how this will go, and maybe one thing that can actually help us to get a bit of an idea of how this match could potentially go is to take also a quick look at the predictions that have been done either by our community or by our production crew. So let's take a quick look. Not everyone has done their homework, it seems, but I'm seeing some mixed results here. I'm seeing LDL for myself, Olnex and Ogun both on Zach Gaming for this match, whereas you, Nash, and Freddy on LDL, but then Void again on Zach. So that's a bit 50-50, right? I think that's almost 50-50 here for the production team, with then also Nanos there on LDL. But how do things look for the community? That's also one thing I am wondering. And that is going to be a 50-50 as well, Nash. Hey, what do you want for number 1 versus number 2 of the group? 50-50 match. This could then become a very beautiful match, a very close match, a very tense match. I hope this means that we're going to get like a 7-5 score, even some overtime. But I don't think we will get like anything like a 7-0 or 7-2.
I want to see all 15 rounds.
I hope so.
Let's get all 15.
Well, there's only one answer to that question, and that's to start with the match. So right now we'll see quickly the map loading, a little tour here around Chalet, the map in the beautiful French Alps, and that will start here with this first match of today.
Indeed, we are looking at these attacker bans right now. Something that we do very much acknowledge. One person has left, but we'll ignore that until we get a rehost call. But something we very well acknowledge on a map like this, Azami is a powerhouse. And I think on the defense, that's going to be one of those people that you want to really take off the board. I think taking out the Jackal, very good play. A lot of teams really like the roam on this map. And when it comes down to wanting to shut off that roam, the main way is to do that Jackal to Kebi. And you can't really do that if Jackal's on the board. So you have to play these set positions, and you can't really drift too much. And because Chalet is one of those maps where you have to be like really enforcing things and forcing the issue, you have to kind of isolate yourself in that sort of sense. So having Jackal taken away is a very, very good thing. Not going out as well, one of those operators that really denies that defensive information and can go on those ratty sort of lurk plays.
And Solace, yeah, another big surprise here, Nash, right? I think it's
Yeah.
still I think Solace is still the most banned defensive
Oh,
operator.
easily.
Just like last season. Like last season, Nuck was also the most banned attacking operator. That luckily has changed. We now tend to see a bit more of Ying bans these days. I mean, Nuck is still there, but it's has gotten a bit more diverse, the attacker bans. But for Solace, that she's like still dominating the defensive bans lineup. Unfortunately, but at the same time, also very understandable.
Yeah, as I said, Azami goes off the board because nobody wants to play against an Azami on Chalet. It's stupid. Like, she can do so much, and it's so difficult to deal with, especially on that basement site. You've got the table that can have those really weird Azami setups. You've got the little off angle on the ledge next to where the barrels are inside of wine cellar. You've got the keeper barricades that protect the guy in box room. You've got the keeper barricade you can put on the snowmobile itself. Upstairs, you've got this table in the middle of the main site. It is just a terrible. Even the piano inside of piano. It's such an awful operator to play against on this site, and it translates very majorly well to these mid floor sites as well. So, I think that's one of those operators that very much just needs to be taken away. And I think now we just get to see how these teams play around having these shield operators available, having these sort of like more intel based operators still sort of around. Things like Dekebi that are a bit more niche. Obviously, Dekebi becoming a lot less niche coming into the rest of this, but you see things like Twitch coming back up again. Obviously, we see the F2 a bit more on these console games because with the way controller recall works and the way you control it, it is a lot easier to use. And I think that is a really good thing because of how powerful the F2 can be. And Goldino is going to be actually taking out a reverse spawn peeker. I don't quite know where that was. I think that may have been on bathroom window as he was just playing on that off angle, I think. And now, or was that a wallbang? There's no way that was a wallbang. No, because it was Ram upstairs. He killed the bathroom window guy.
Yeah, I think so too. But yeah, that's Capcan already off the board. Likely plays most of his utility anyway, but still big loss here for the defensive side of Zach Gaming, where we now continue with his 4 versus 5. Various members of the orange team of LDL already entering the building, but then Karma jump out with a shotgun, finding the kill there on Ram. That's Goldie knows taken care of. And now we're back to an equal 4 versus 4. Still 2 minutes remaining, where the attackers are already kind of on the doorstep here of the defensive team.
Yeah, Karma delivering what the name entails as now we do see actually just trying to get this quick peek onto the Warden, hoping the Warden's really going to just like over peek into that. But
he hit one
by
shot.
the looks of things, he is deciding against it as he does. Yeah, he does take one shot. The smoke's going to be playing close. Karma going to be playing close on that piano door. Doesn't quite find the frag as Eli swings through and gets Gashto. And now we're going to be in a position where these defenders are going to be a little bit more pressured. The Gridlock is going to be, I almost think it. Gridlock is going to be coming in to try and get the plant, and the diffuser is going down on Ace right now. There goes the head holes. Blessery finds one. Now we're going to be in this position. This 3v3, is anyone going to be able to actually get themselves a pick onto any of these players that are hanging around? Ace going to be trying to get a little bit of a peek over that half wall, but not going to be deciding to run away yet. Madarino finds Karma, and now that smoke's off the board. The Legion, the last man standing in this 1v3. Is he going to be able to find any, if at all? Takes the swing onto the double player. And now Eli finding the final one is going to bring us to a 1-0 for the side of LBL.
Yeah, round started pretty well balanced, like kills on each side, but suddenly, like at that 1.5 minute mark, the attackers really stepped up the game and really showed some aggression and really took control of the bomb site really quickly. Got the diffuser down, got those kills, and a very nice and clean execution there from Team LDL. So beautiful first rounds for them as a team.
Yeah, fantastic. Really enjoyable round to see, especially reassuring with how dominating it was towards the later end of the round. These players as a whole very much orienting themselves around that late round pressure in favor of taking on those sort of head-to-head fights in the early round. Obviously, you had Goldino try and take one, but he found a reverse one peak, so I mean, at the end of the day, he was just feeling himself. He wanted to be confident and couldn't find any more than that. But as I said, the late round execute, the inability to deny it from the defensive side was very, very well played by the defensive side. And they are going to be playing around that hatch being open on the second floor as well.
Yeah, so now proceeding indeed to the second bomb site. They're just going for a different one, of course, and this
Yeah.
is clearly Games Bar, which is a very interesting bomb site. Lots of top-down contesting and defending. Like the top floor, of course, very valuable for the defensive team as they can also easily fall back and defend the bomb site from above. So that's why they're putting so much focus on this top floor, but even some various mirror windows being placed there and loads of utility. And likely attackers will try to get hold of this top floor as soon as they can, so they have enough time to still work on the bomb site right below them.
Yeah, I really like this strategy. This strategy is very, very in line with exactly what we saw from Virtus Pro earlier. They were like, if you've been watching the major stream, you will have seen this exact sort of mirror setup alongside the player that's standing around on top fireplace. They did run a dock for it on the top fireplace instead of the Wamai, but overall, relatively the same setup. So we are going to be seeing pretty much an identical sort of strat book coming out of here. A very aggressive Wamai onto that K9 window is going to be denied a little bit, but the Twitch drone misses, isn't able to find the canister on the window. And I don't know if they're aware of where this player is standing, takes a swing, finds the Twitch, and he's going to find a second. Bravo goes down as well. That's all 4 of your drones gone, alongside those default 2 as well.
That's a great start here for the defensive side of Zach Gaming, getting a nice double kill, then unfortunately losing his life, but he has done well. He brought his team to this 4 versus 3 situation, but still the attacking team or defending team having some pretty good top floor control and side control. Attackers still need to find their way inside of the building and lost already half of the round in doing so. So with very little time left and also some HP lost there on Yesmay, they will be up for a bit of a challenge to actually make things happen this round.
8 drones gone in 1 swing, Max.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely blown away. You can't be sacrificing that much utility coming into this. You see that player moving through on the top floor, going to be trying to get that shield pressure. And now the player that's going to be hanging around in bar, they see him. He knows he's looking away. He gets the injury, and that's going to be perfect for them as they are able to secure themselves with that kill with the player playing above, not quite looking at the right angle. There is going to be a frost, however. Jawa going to be playing around on these basement stairs as he is just going to be looking around for any sort of pressure coming from those stairs. Just decides to run away and see if he can get himself back up blue.
Yeah, still 3 versus 2 with Yasmin just now descending the fireplace stairs, but 2 defenders extremely close. Also, the sledge going for the window for bicycle from Mats, but unfortunately getting found, getting taken out, and that's all coming down to Yasmin in this 3 versus 1 situation with still 30 seconds on the clock, but with very little HP. This drop will likely be fatal, and yes, indeed, Karma finds the kill and secures a round hit this time for Zach Gaming, the defensive team, putting the score on nice and equal 1-1.
Yeah, very well played from the side of Zach Gaming, able to actually isolate these players, pick them off, and find where they're going to be pushing from. And I think that level of adaptability, being able to move to a different bomb site, feeling confident, coming in with a refreshed mindset, and actually being able to find yourself a win like that is actually going to really boost the way Zach play in the rest of this game. Going to the second first floor site, a lot of people do prefer it over the basement site when Azami isn't available. So we are going to be seeing that come into fruition. Wondering what their sort of strategy / playbook is going to be, because there's a lot of different ones that revolve around the kitchen dining, and I think it's going to be very interesting to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, the top floor likely is going to play a major role here for the defense. I mean, it usually does. Again, kind of the same thing applies here to what I just explained for the other bomb site. Like holding the top floor can be very valuable for the defending team as they can defend the bomb site from above and can fall back easily through the hatches or various staircases. But at the same time, when that ends up in the hands of the attacking team, they can cause so much destruction, especially with like a ram or sledge or buck and play. They can just open up the floor completely and make it extremely difficult to play on site, make it like a nightmare for defenders. So as defenders, they should keep it as long as they can in their control so they can use it in their advantage and keep it out of the advantage of the attacking team.
Speaking of that, bringing along that ram is going to be so good for the side of LDL, but they're deciding against it because when you bring that ram, you can push that K9 door, you can get through the soft wall, you can basically get an entire line going all the way through the dining site above kitchen. And I think with these mirrors being on side, obviously one being opened by that Twitch drone already, it's definitely a really good play because they could have easily just gotten rid of the sledge, gotten rid of the Twitch, and brought something a bit more sort of utility heavy in favor of just bringing that ram. And Eli nearly gets caught by a C4, but I think that's a bit of a miscalculation from the side of LDL here. I think this operator lineup is a little flawed just for that reason. But yeah, there isn't really a lot else that I can say about it.
No, in the end, now it will just come down to how they actually go for execution. I mean, they have the sledge, which will certainly help them to take care of those castle barricades, but beside that, some hard breaching is available as well. The IQ should be able to find those museums pretty easily once they have that up control, and that way they should still be be able to open up some walls and weaken the defenses to still go for the executes. But with still various roamers on the way, a roaming Mira right now, she might find a Gridlock right like fairly soon, but at the same time, Gridlock is waiting. She seems to know
Mira.
something might be up here, and very soon we will see an engagement happening here. The question is, which of the two will win the gunfight? But no, it's the Gridlock who was waiting, finds the Mira. Of course, she did have a little silence cue as the Mira started walking a little faster, but it's the Mira losing her life and the opening kill going to the side of LDL.
As well, another micro decision coming out of the ace, not the ace,
tricking.
the thermite this time. The thermite trick went, or the impact trick went very well, but a little micro miscalculation by that thermite is not crouching when placing the thermite charge, because you're able to clear open the floor, and obviously you might think, oh, it doesn't see anything, it just sees the wall below, and yes, it does, but it somewhat denies impact tricking from below. If they try and impact trick over the wall, when you're opening that bottom wall, obviously it didn't this time, but also it opens that floor so you can play those angles above in order to clear out the double door if anyone tries to repressure from there later on in the round. Obviously, LDL is still able to find the round for themselves, but it's so many like minor things that are really like kind of not really working out. And I think if the side of Zach Gaming are able to pick that apart a little bit, they might be able to find themselves at an advantage here.
I'm actually just thinking, like, how did Zach actually lose this round? Because, like, they were in a good position. They perfectly denied the termite trick. They, I mean, yes, they were the team to be have an opening kill against them, but really, like, how did they really lose? Were they over aggressive and did they just lose too many gunfights, or what exactly happened there?
I think when it comes down to it, the side of Zach Gaming is just kind of trying to play a bit too heavy on their sort of peaker's advantage, if you want to put it in that sense.
Yeah.
They're not really sitting still, playing these angles, playing around their utility. Obviously, they went for the impact trick, which is semi playing around that utility, but overall, they're not really doing enough utility-wise. They're just kind of trying to take gunfights, and I think that's really where they're going wrong. You saw in round one, they lost not because of the spawn peak, but they definitely put themselves at a disadvantage because they tried to take that early gunfight. It didn't work out for them. And then it was a little saved by Karma, but obviously the round didn't end up going in their favor. We are going to be returning to this top floor site. And the last round didn't really go in their favor once again because they tried to take these gunfights. I'd say the reason round two went so well was because they sat still, they played their positions, they had that top shield that they played so heavily around, and now Legion almost getting caught by that Kebi, but isn't going to be pulling the trigger just yet, as we do see a bit of a peak going back and forth.
Yeah, various logicals coming up, but not being too effective yet, as the attackers are not really being able to benefit from it at the moment. The Axel still here waiting in the library for getting the right call or the right moment to engage with the Legion, who's playing up there in Fireplace. But at the same time, we can see Gridlock entering downstairs, who might be able to find Jawa from another side. But in the end, it's actually the nade from below from Madrino finds that Legion, while also then Gesto, the Warden, also lost his life, which already brings us to a 3 versus 5, where Exceladon gets a kill on Ali, a 3 versus 4. In the favor still of the offensive side.
Yeah, once again, we're just kind of seeing a lot of swinging coming out of the side of Zach Gaming. They're just taking these peaks, trying to take these fights. Sometimes they are like kind of waiting for the engagement, but they're just not holding the right things. They haven't got each other's crossfires. They haven't got a lot of these sort of engagements. They're not ready for these gunfights, and they are just getting punished for it. The man prone on the floor actually is able to find one for himself, and that's going to be the round over once again. 3-1 now for the side of LDL.
Yeah, LDL doing very well for themselves for these four rounds so far, a 1-3 score. But of course, like also again, if we take a little look here at the lineup from LDL, we do see some very recognizable players. Where at least 4 or maybe 5 actually, I'm not very sure, might be 5 ex-Minions players. I'm not sure about Goldino. Was Goldino Minions before? I'm not sure about that one. But
Possibly
Drino,
as
Ali,
such.
and Liaxil or Axi all
Yeah.
were on Minions before. So of course these are ex-champions. Like they are, some of those players are season 6 champions. So they are very good players who now have found themselves in a different team. But yeah, again, that really shows how strong LDL can be. They really give a nice boost to the team here.
Yeah, definitely one of the most formidable teams that we have right now because of their previous history in this league. But we are going to be seeing them come back to this once again on this first floor site. And I mean, realistically, if this is the only site you can win, you're like guaranteed coming out of this with at best a 4-2 split. And that's not what you want, especially when you haven't taken them to the basement site yet, which is potentially a really good site for defenders if they're able to put themselves in good positions. But the problem we're seeing at the moment is they're just kind of not playing positions at all. They're trying to take these aggressive stances, take these peaks. You see this right now from the Wamai, and he does whip his shots. He decides to stay there. Finally backing off in the end is Zello, as now he's going to be just sitting around that shield. And I think once again, it just kind of all comes down to the same issues.
Yeah, very unfortunate Bumpy there. Still a bit of damage done, 20 HP about that loss. But also Yesmay losing 50 HP in total, which is half of the HP gone. Which is, I mean, it could technically hurt the offensive from LDL, but at the same time, they're still in play. They're still holding their guns. They still have loads of utility to be placed down, which can still, be very, still work for them. So even though some future game fights might get a little bit more tricky, they can still make things work for the team. So nothing too much to be worrying about so far, but it's still a nice attempt here from the side of Zach Gaming.
Yeah, in the span of about 4 seconds there, Zello peaked about 6 angles all at once. And like several of them he didn't even look at. So it's one of those situations for this team where you've got to get worried. Like once again, just peeking out into the angle, he didn't have to peek that far, and he just gets punished for it this time. It's one of those situations where we are just seeing a lot of overswinging coming out of Zach Gaming. We're trying to take the angle onto the pixel peak, but you're not paying enough attention to the top window, and now we're just seeing them fall one by one as they're just not ready for these peaks, even though they are just trying to take the overswing or take the swing approach. And now we're just seeing this mute fall back off down into that bottom blue stairs area. It's going to be moving his way into bar, maybe even the bar corridor. I'm not too sure, but he gets killed through the hatch as he does see that res. Twitch takes a swing, finds a triple kill for herself. Madarino on an absolute tear right now as we see the mirror almost getting caught by that player standing above. Is going to get caught by Madarino in the end, and that's going to be round number 5 in favor of LDL, 4-1.
Yeah, quad kill there from Madarino there towards the end. Beautiful way for them to win yet another round in their favor. Like you said, a 1-4 score. Just one more round for them to go and to score some points here on these sides before we see the roll swap happen. So ideally, we do see Zach Gaming win one more point, win one more round, put themselves on a 2-4, which is still a workable score once we go to the roll swap. But if this ends up becoming a 1-5 score, I'm starting to cross my fingers for Zach Gaming, how they will do once they switch to the offense.
Well, this was said earlier on the Rainbow Six broadcast for the Atlanta Major, because I like to watch a lot of the analyst desk, if I can speak English. I was watching the analyst desk, and something Fresh said really resonated with me about this map. And it's one of those maps where you can come out of this with a 4-2 split, and you can swap sides, and it's considered a comeback. Right? It's considered a comeback. If you end this off on a 5-1 split, the game is basically over.
You would say so, yeah.
And that has to be taken into consideration by both of these sides. Obviously, you can't get overconfident if you're on the side of LDL. They are playing very fast. They are playing very aggressive. That's natural for a team that is very much reliant on their gun skill, and doesn't really need to use a lot of this strategy coming into this group. So I think, as a whole, when it comes down to the way the rest of this game is going to be played, if we end off 4-2, Zach have a chance. But I think if we end off 5-1, this game is probably done.
Yeah, 5-1. It's not impossible to come back from. We might actually have seen it before already this season, but still, it's not a good place to be in.
The
It
run out,
really hurt
though.
your confidence. But the run out almost finds the player, but another run out happened from Ali or from Karma, who got found by the claimer of Ali. That's the first defender already off the board once more. Something that Zach Gaming cannot really afford at this moment. And then, of course, also a very unfortunate run out, which didn't really pay off that much, even though he did get a bit of damage done. Well, in the end, it did help Salo to get the kill a little bit easier, even though it was a headshot, and then Ellie finds a kill on Jawa, which then brings us to the free forward still. Zakim in the...
Actually, though, manages to get a kill from below onto the Warden that is going to be playing around on those blue stairs. And now we have the man in mud room kind of isolated, as he is going to have to try and take a swing onto one of these players. The Dekebi's still going to be playing around there, coming into the main lobby now, but is going to be hovering around that double door in order to try and take any engagements necessary. But Zello extremely stuck here, unable to really do or go anywhere, and he's just or do anything or go anywhere. And now, as Axie makes his way into the mud room, is going to find that kill for himself, and the final man is going to be the man standing on the mirror. Tries to take the engagement, gets one on the window, but isn't able to find the man on the hatch, as Axie is going to be getting himself aggressive into this room now, does end up getting injured, and he is going to be crouch walking in front of that hatch. The Ash, they know, not the Ash, Flores, they know of this player's location, and it's just not going to go well. 5-1 half in this first match of the day in favor of LDL.
Yeah, something we didn't really see coming. Like, neither us did coming, the production crew, the community with the 50-50 votes. And also, if you look at the standings, it's not something you would expect from this match to happen. Like I said, a 1-5, you can still come back from it. It seems very hard. It will be very hard, especially with Zach Gaming probably not be feeling too confident at this moment, the morale potentially being a bit low. But at the same time, like, if they just score 2 or 3 points now, then everything will suddenly look so much more possible, and it will give them such a boost, and then things might still work out. But yeah, they just need to keep in mind that their opponent is only 1 point away from match point and 2 rounds away from actually winning this match. So yeah, it's LDL having the win almost within their reach right now.
Yeah, it's pretty much as I said. Look, the quote I stole from Fresh, I think this game is basically done and dusted. Pretty much no matter what you do here, it's like all LDL have to do is find one site they can win, and then even if they lose the other 4 rounds, right?
Sorry?
Well, put it this way: LDL only have to find one site they can win. They win that site after, let's say, losing twice in a worst case scenario. So they lose the 2 other sites, then win that one.
Yeah.
They go to that one, they win it. They lose another twice because they have to, or another 2 times because they have to play other sites until that one re-unlocks. And then that one re-unlocks, and the worst this game goes for them is 7-5. It's like, so with how Chalet is played and how dominantly it can be run by the defensive side if played correctly, I just don't see this game going anywhere past 7-2.
Yeah, that might be very true. It's really up to Zach Gaming to really step up their game, really start winning these rounds. Maybe their aggressiveness on their defense might pay off a little bit better here on the offense, where, I mean, aggressiveness is a bit more natural, a bit more needed. So maybe that will pay off and it will secure them some rounds. But for now, it's really, if they don't even win this round, then things are practically as good as over. So all eyes focused on Zach Gaming right now for this round, where they haven't got a single kill so far, and the first minute already elapsed. They're just entering the building, getting the first bit of control, and with Visual here on the library stairs, he's just waiting to get that first kill on the board.
Yeah, pretty much complete control of this bar area right now, as the player above is going to be opening up that hatch, trying to get a frag, but actually takes a swing, finds Zello very early in the round. A wall bang onto Jawa!
Yeah, GG.
And now the game's basically over. We get a barricade bang right there through the main door, and we're just going to be seeing LDL get super aggressive onto these remaining players. Karma finds one onto the player that is going to be taking the swing on that 90 corridor, and it looks like Gashto is going to find another, but the last few players on the side of Zach Gaming aren't exactly prepared for where these players are going to be positioned, and Eli finds a double to find the final nail in the coffin for this round.
Yeah, a 1-6 score right now. It's practically all over for Zach Gaming here. They just need to win 5 rounds in a row if they still want to have a chance to score some points in the overtime, which seems very, very unlikely. And I also guess that Zach Gaming just doesn't really feel it anymore at this point. So we'll see how things go from now, how long they will be able to hold off the opponent and maybe still score some rounds, which potentially could help them as a tiebreaker. But winning the round almost seems impossible at this point. So we'll see how things go. While LDL is now going to gaming room bar.
Indeed, they are. They're going to be going to that games room bar, and I mean, realistically, I see this site as a much more favorable site than that top floor one. And I think that just how they've played so far is just going to be so much, well, going to make them so confident coming into the potential final round of this game. And I mean, obviously, we do see this Warden gameplay right now. You see this a lot in Ranked, where you have your Warden standing around doing nothing, and everyone else is going to be reinforcing, setting up that site, and it's quite common.
Yeah, indeed. We might just right now witness the final round of this match. We'll see how things go. But Zach Gaming, yeah, like I said, I was hoping that they're okay. I was hoping, like I said, I was hoping that the offensive round would just help out a little bit better here for Zach Gaming, who were playing fairly aggressive on the defense, and their aggressiveness didn't really pay off that well so far. They might still do so, but like I said, it's already it's pretty much over in terms of the scoring. And for them to win this match seems very unlikely.
Indeed, Galdino is going to be going for a main entrance spawn peak. Almost gets himself caught, but almost finds one for himself as well. Neither player takes damage in the end, and now he's just going to be moving himself back up to that top fireplace area to play his mirror window. Speaking of mirror, she is she's taking swings on that door right now. She really wants this Flores kill, but Flores really wants to take her as well. They're just going to be dealing a little bit of damage back and forth. Flores takes nothing, but manages to deal out a little bit. And now this player sitting around on this window does lose out in the end. Karma is going to lose his life.
Yeah, actually already almost finding the two, but it's Ali getting the kill instead. Karma leaving the game, no longer having any confidence in his team whatsoever. But then there's Blisseri and Cello with each 1 kill. Hey, this almost feels like a flashback again, where a comeback for this team might still seem possible, at least for this round. But this is a 2 versus 3 with only Cello and Blisseri still alive. I'm not even sure whether they are inside of the building or not. I mean, Cello seems to be inside of the building towards office. Still needs to make his way all the way over to reading and then towards the bomb side. But then Cello gets a kill on Goldino. But Ali with a kill there on Cello. It's all coming down to Blisseri, who now stabs into Elysian Mine, which might give away his position. But with this 1 versus 2 and 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining, things might still be possible for him.
It definitely has given away his position, as these players are just swarming like flies around this Solarium area. And Trophy going to be trying to take the swing is both of these players. He does a bit of damage to Warden, but Warden isn't able to find the kill for himself either, as now this mirror is going to be getting aggressive onto the kitchen door. Madarino takes the swing, finds the kill for himself, and that's going to be GG 7-1 to LDL.
Yeah, that's the first game already done for today. We started a bit later than usual due to some issues we were having before the stream, but those have been resolved luckily. And then also this match allows us to catch up some of this time, allowing us to finish just right before the second match of today is supposed to be starting. So that's also a little bit of a positivity after this, I mean, yeah, it's fair to say disappointing match.
Yeah, I mean, I very much imagined that this game would be like one of the games of the season.
Yeah.
Coming into this group, especially considering we've seen such strong showings out of Zach, coming out with an overtime win against Mafia Squad, which is an actual like formidable team in this group, alongside the performance that they've had in a lot of their other games, and then they come up against LDL and we have a showing like that. I understand it was both of the team's worst maps, but having a showing like that against another team, which statistically have this map as their worst as well, and you're just trying to take swings and gunfights against a team that is known for taking swings and gunfights, it's unbelievable. I think Zach Gaming really blundered in this game, and I think they really have to reconsider, go back to the drawing board on all of their strats for Chalet, because there's no way that you can just be overextending, over peaking, over swinging, all of that.
Yeah, and with this game now finished, it kind of puts a bit more division between these two teams, the two best teams of their group. But with Linner's League, Linner's Defense League, LDL, now on 9 points, they are the only team currently on a flawless win streak with a 3-0-0-0 score line, which is, of course, a nice accomplishment for themselves. But then Zach, of course, still right behind them. But depending on what Mafia Squad and potentially even Team EOS will do today, Zach might even drop even further lower in their group for today. Talking about those matches, right next after this match, we will see Eagle Empire versus Mafia Squad. So after a short break of about 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be right back with the second match for today. So hang tight, grab a drink, grab a snack, and we'll see you guys in a short moment. Bye bye. And welcome back, everyone. After a fairly short break, we're here back for the second match of today, which is going to be Eagle Empire versus Mafia Squad. It's still me, Bosa Max, accompanied by, on that side, Nash. Hello, Nash.
Hello. We are going to be watching Mafia Squad versus Eagle Empire, as you said. I think realistically, like both of these teams, genuinely can be relatively respectable. Especially the side of Mafia Squad. Like we know this. And the side of Eagle Empire, like they're a bit inconsistent as we've seen. But overall, do have some very competent gunners. That it's just really their team play where they really lack, and I think that comes down a lot to internal issues. But overall, they could genuinely be a good team on the day or on their day, but we just need to really see like a lot of pushback from them in the sort of stratagem department.
Yeah, because in the end, it's the number 5 versus the number 3 in their group. So there's not too much division between these two. Like here, we can actually quickly see the standings, which have been updated. Have they been? Oh, they were there for a short moment. Just something weird happening there, but I think we should be able to see them right now, and they should stay here this time. Yes, and they have been updated indeed. So Leonard and Zach Gaming would display their match. Those have already been updated. So, like I said, the number 3 versus number 5, not too much difference between the two, but where one major difference is that Mafia Squad actually has won matches so far, where Eagle Empire hasn't.
Whereas if Eagle Empire do come out of this with a regulation win, they still don't overtake Mafia Squad. And I also, so pretty much no matter the scoreline, they don't overtake EOS as well. They remain in their position based on round difference alone. But if they do come out of this Playday with a win, there is the possibility of them going into their next Playday and actually coming out of the Playday with a top 4 finish. So as a team, genuinely there is hope for both Eagle Empire and also Entropy, so long as one of them today is able to come out with a win.
Yeah, because they still need to play 3 matches, of course, of which 2 are being played, like one today and one on Saturdays. So a lot of things will change for this group during this week. But basically, yeah, indeed, like if Eagle Empire wins some points, Entropy wins some points, like the whole bottom 4 of this group can still change so incredibly much. And for that reason, for all of these teams, these days are very important. But at the same time, if Eagle Empire and Entropy don't score any points today, but for example EOS and Mafia Squad do, then it's going to be extremely difficult for Entropy Gaming and Eagle Empire Esports, as they can then only win 6 points in the upcoming 2 playdays after today, so that's Saturday and somewhere next week. And that would even come down to round differences and that kind of stuff, like some tiebreakers, because then they would tie with some other teams. So yeah, today and Saturday will be very important, because if they don't start performing soon, then it will be a little bit more unlikely for them to actually make it out of the group stage. I'm not quite sure how far our lobby is at the moment. Okay. So apparently still waiting for one of the 2 teams. So we still have a bit of time to talk about the teams. Let's just hop into their to the player cards, or the team cards, so we can actually talk a bit more about the teams here. So the first one, Mafia Squads. Nash, maybe you can talk a bit more about them.
Well, the side of Mafia Squad, a team that has been very formidable in previous Playday. And obviously they did have their overtime loss against one of the other teams. I'm not too sure, and I really don't want to go through looking on OPL right now. But on their roster, they have the 2 captains, which are Nokrios and also Clay. They also have Toms, Senzo, Kenzie, Nordy, and also Iron. And more than likely, we're going to be seeing the sort of same roster we've seen pretty much every Playday from them, which, I mean, as we've already said, does tend to be quite formidable. And as we can see, best map is going to be Cafe, worst map is going to be Oregon. But we'll quickly switch over to Eagle Empire, and you can have a quick talk about who they are and where they come from.
Yes, Eagle Empire, one thing immediately stands out, and that is that 0% win rate, of course. They haven't won a single match right now, so it's very hard to say also which are their best maps and worst maps. I'm not even sure whether the Chalet is even accurate. I mean, I do know that for some of the old Eagle Empire players who have stayed, like Robson and Zeri, that Chalet used to be a very good map for Eagle Empire. That might have changed over time. That's something that you will know a bit better. But then worst map apparently is Skyscraper, which they played once before. And yeah, unfortunately, they lost that one. So that is definitely one of their lesser good maps, or at least it has been not that good for them as they did lose it before. But of course, we can also go to the social votes to actually get an idea of what our community is expecting of this match. Because again, like Eagle Empire, I mean, they don't have the best reputation throughout the past seasons. Yes, the roster is completely different, and for a moment, everything looks very positive. Like the new roster looks very, very promising. But then, like you already explained a bit before, the internal issues they have been experiencing is kind of ruining things for Eagle Empire. And it seems like that our community is also pretty aware of that. A 22% versus a 78%. Where things are looking pretty good for Mafia Squad here.
Yeah, I think there's some big changes in line coming up for the side of Eagle Empire in a few other leagues. Some players do know about what's going on, but I won't disclose it for their sake. But yeah, there's some internal issues going on right now on the side of Eagle Empire, so more than likely they are going to have a bit of a rough season. But either way, looking at what map we are going to be going to.
Yeah, let's take a quick look indeed. It's going to be Oregon. Oregon, one map that was not present in the visual that we just have seen. So it will be a bit of guessing what we can expect of Eagle Empire or Mafia Squad here. But like again, me and Nash already talked a bit briefly about the two teams before the stream started or before this match started, where Nash already explained, like, of course, he's the coach, analyst for Team Eagle Empire, where Eagle Empire has prepared for a map like Oregon. Something, of course, information, that kind of inside information I do not have for Mafia Squads. But I mean, that gives me a little bit of hope that Eagle Empire can still do some things today. I mean, Mafia Squad is not the easiest opponent within the group. I mean, they're currently positioned on the third spot, where like other teams like what is it? Entropy Gaming, they still need to play against in their fifth week, where they might still have chances to get some points there. But for now, yeah, it just gives me a little bit of hope there.
Yeah, Eagle Empire very well prepared for an Oregon play, especially when it comes to the strategies that they have in line, because they do have multiple for every site on this map in particular. So I think when it comes down to Eagle Empire actually playing this map, it is going to work out very well for them, because if pretty much of all the maps they could have gone to, I think this is probably going to be their most sort of comfortable. And I think the entire sort of not premise, but I think the entire game for them is going to come down to how well they play their gunfights.
Yeah, that's something that we will find out in a short moment, because what I believe the game has started. We're just waiting for us to receive the feed and get actually ready to jump into the game. So it should be like a matter of seconds right now, maybe like half a minute maximum. But then we will actually see how the second game of today will be going. Oregon, where I believe it's Eagle Empire. Let me just quickly check. It's Eagle Empire on the defense. Am I saying that correctly? It's Eagle Empire on defense. Yes, indeed. So Eagle Empire on the defense, and the map here is loading in. So Eagle Empire is going to defend here on Oregon first, and after this quick tour, we'll jump into the operator bands, which likely already have been going on for a little bit. So we'll just see the results in a short moment. But it seems like we are having some issues, or what's going on here? All right.
I didn't realize you could pause in the band phase. Wait a minute.
Yes, you can. You can. Like the host can, and yeah. So the game had been paused for a moment, but it should be resuming fairly soon. So we still get to see the full operator bands here. So like I was expecting that already some happened. We're still getting the full experience here, which is a nice thing.
I can give you a little bit of insight.
Okay, let's go.
Eagle Empire aren't gonna ban Solace. I know
Okay,
that.
okay. I mean,
Um,
yeah.
this is entirely revolving around the sort of philosophy that a few teams have, and I'm one of those people that has this philosophy where Solace is very, very powerful as an operator, and I think that she definitely poses a threat to pretty much any team that plays against her. But I also think that she is one of those operators that is very good on both sides, and I don't think banning her out is exactly a solution.
Uh-huh.
And I've kind of relayed that to Eagle Empire in
Right.
some of our talks and things like that, and I think they kind of agree with my standpoint on that. We do see Nock and Azami go out from the starting attacking side alongside Ying. Ying is a very natural ban on Oregon, one of those that you will just see pretty much every time. The
Mm-hmm.
Nock going out just to avoid the lurk plays, the Azami going out pretty much entirely for that top floor. The amount of like stupid angles that you can make on that Azami, Mozzie goes out as a bit of a not a throwaway ban, but one of those to kind of catch you off guard. Probably more of a target ban than anything
Yeah.
else of something they want to play and want to try and keep away from the side from the side of Mafia Squad. So
Yeah. Well, indeed, without these operators, we will play the game where, like I said, Eagle Empire is going to be on the defensive side first, where they have decided to go to Dorm's main hall, kids Dorm's first. Indeed, that Solus, who hasn't been banned for once, is coming out immediately, played by Axia. And I'm actually very curious to see Solus in action. Very excited to see Solus in action. We don't get to see we don't get to see her too often. And I mean, yeah, this will be nice.
yeah, XA are going to be picking up that Solace in the round one. And something that I'd also like to quickly disclose on Solace, if you sure hitting heads, it's a one-shot headshot game. It's one of those games where if you as long as you're hitting heads, any gun's the best gun in the game. But when it comes down to Solace as a whole, it's one of those operators where if you understand that it's not likely that you're going to hit every head, and you understand that not every angle is going to show you a head. Solace is one of those operators. She has a very high fire rate gun. Yes, it's very low damage, but it's got a 51 round magazine. You can take 3 gunfights in a row and be fine. And pre-fire every single one. Alongside that, you also have the SMG-11 as a secondary, which is the highest DPS gun in the game.
Yeah, so indeed, yeah.
Yeah, she is just like an extremely formidable operator. We do see Senzo just trying to take some shots onto the spawn peak from Kodaf there on the armory window, but there is going to be a frost mat under it, give him a little bit of protection from the jump in, and it looks like we're going to be seeing the side of Mafia Squad take a very aggressive stance towards this trophy side.
Indeed, Fink already making her way up towards the armor chest, trying to send it with the motion sensor. Unfortunately, already giving away a position. While my playing, they're getting ready to stop these players in the track. But as he noticed, there's quite a few players playing there. Lots of danger there for him. Better to get out of the way, and play on a safer position. But at the same time, there's this Legion who's now relocated himself towards classroom. I was about to say, but then somehow the Fink has found out about this, knew about this, potentially prepared his drone because they're a very easy opening kill, wall bang there on the Legion, bringing us to a 4 versus 5 in the favor of the members of I can't even read the name anymore. It's of course Mafia Squad. Yeah.
Yeah, giving them a little bit of fear pressure on the side of Eagle Empire just by opening up that window and throwing in that throwing in that buggy. And now we're going to be seeing Ram hovering around on that big window side. She is going to be trying to take some engagements. The buggy does run through, and there is going to be a frost mat under the window that I don't think she's quite aware of, and thinks possibly that the buggy could have dealt with. Nade comes through onto Elixir. Elixir's just going to be very, very weak now as another one comes out and finds the confirmation on the frag, and Exia now has to ace to win, and he is going to be getting into a very early engagement against Senju. Senju finds that kill, and that's going to be round number 1 going the way of Mafia Squad very convincingly there in a 4-man still standing type of round.
Yeah, like I always like to say, this very first round of the game kind of sets the tone, or could set the tone for the game, and there's always something like that is a bit of a positive thing for you as a team to just secure this first round. So Mafia gets squad securing this first round, giving that a little bit of a boost of confidence, and especially since it was, like you said, a very convincing round, they should start to feel a little bit more confident. But at the same time, Eagle Empire, they now know what they're up against. They know they need to just give a little bit more energy and work a bit better together. And then hopefully they can do a bit more damage here and actually secure some rounds as well. Because, like I said, I hope that we will see some close rounds today, close matches today. We got a little disappointed after the first match of today, which ended in a 7-1 score. But yeah, for Eagle Empire here, I hope they can do a little bit better compared to the previous match.
Yeah, last match, our highest potential to be the closest match of the day, actually ended 7-1, as we just disclosed. And now we're going to be seeing Eagle Empire not feeling thwarted by the attack of the previous round, and they are just going to go back to the same site and give it another crack and see if they can maybe get a little less unlucky with the Legion getting wallbanged and Dormai being pressured out of position and Ellie actually getting naded from below. So I think they're just going to be trying it again, potentially playing in slightly altered positions and basically just going for essentially the same hole.
Yeah, indeed. As the members of Mafia Squad are now approaching the building, still with a Ghost Army tag as they were previously called, but yeah, still playing under the name Mafia Squad now. So they're approaching the building, looking for the first way in, looking for ways to disrupt the Eagle Empire members. But with Exia playing in Big Tower, that could be one of a problem. He's still playing here with the scanner, can easily find some of the drones, but there's a player right behind him. Actually, that's a team member of him, Russe, who can actually play very well together with Exia in this case. And actually, with some nice teamwork, they can go for some very nice cross angles and yeah, disrupt the opposing team quite well together. So I'm very curious to see how they will do.
Yeah, once again, the side of the side of Mafia Squad are going to be taking quite an aggressive stance. Kodaf's still going to be hovering around inside of this trophy area. Exia finds one onto the finger of Kenty down below. And he's going to be just retreating himself down into that basement to maybe try and get a bit of a late flank onto one of these players. The Sledge is going to be hovering around in Classroom, and with Exia coming up those laundry stairs, it is going to be a little scary because they are going to get themselves into an engagement sometime soon, probably. And that can only make you a little worried, especially with the position Exia is in right now.
So it was indeed a strong position, being able to scan and gather loads of information, but just patiently waiting. I mean, she doesn't need to move too much. She doesn't need to perform too many actions. She's even falling back to a further position where she can later go for another attempt on this flank. As the attacking team is not really in the position yet where she wants them to be. But meanwhile, Ace already opening up the walk-in closet wall, which is a very strong position, very nice wall to be opened up. And this will provide the attacking team with a very nice line of sight and entry point towards the bomb site. Logicals coming out, and likely the attackers will soon start to make their first moves towards the bomb site.
Indeed, we do see Ellie going to be hovering around in Attic there as he is just going to be trying to take the swings onto that breach and see what he can do. There is going to be a man standing in the corner. It is going to be the Fenrir almost taking a swing onto the Kebi and nearly finding his man as Exia manages to clean that up on the rotate. And now we see Senju having to rotate all the way downstairs to get that white stairs pressure as he is going to be trying to take the corner against Exia now. Does he know that he's there? Nade in hand, isn't able to find it. Tries to take the swing, but Exia manages to get himself into cover in time. This man's 3-1 right now as he is preparing for this swing from the player. They're going to be trying to go for those vertical nades. Isn't able to find the connection that he's looking for. Just going to be trying to take those swings, but the vertical angle from Holes is able to find it. And now the last man standing is Tom as he tries to take the engagement onto the player in Attic, swings round onto the bunk bed's man, and Kodaf going to be finding that final kill. 1-1 now, equalized by Eagle Empire.
Yeah, I'm very happy to see this happening. Both teams at least scoring 1 point, which hopefully means this match is going to be a bit closer than the previous ones that we have seen of Eagle Empire and also previous one today. So starting out with a 1-1, that's a good way to start. Let's just hope that this will kind of continue in this way, like scoring point by point, just going back and forwards. Hopefully, we will get a match where we will see quite a bit of rounds.
Yeah, potentially we're going to be seeing the Eagles soar here as they do go down to that basement supply, and this is one of those strategies that we did kind of discuss and like the way they're going to play. I think this is very much one of those where you sort of orient yourself around that full turtle and it's indeed what they're doing. They've got that Warden shield hovering around in that laundry cubby, and they're going to be opening up the wall into Freezer pretty much completely. So there's going to be a lot of pressure on these mirror windows. There's going to be a lot of pressure on the Freezer, and there's probably going to be a lot of pressure specifically from this Warden / Wamai, depending on which position they choose to play, and the Cade onto the backstairs. So we'll be seeing how they do decide to play it. But yeah, more than likely, this hold is going to be pretty much a full total from the side of Eagle Empire.
Yeah, indeed. It will be up to the members of Mafia Squad to go for the attack on this bomb site, and we'll see how they will approach this building. We do see Flores coming out, a very strong operator that we tend to see quite a lot on bomb sites like these. Will make quick work of those explosive shields if he is able to get his drone in the right position and won't be disrupted. But right now, we see most of the players kind of focusing there on the northern side of the map, which is very understandable, as that will be the focus point for the members of Mafia Squads to approach from.
We do see Kodaft just hovering around on these backstairs right now, as he is just going to be trying to apply pressure in the early round. Obviously, he's going to get droned, so he's just kind of backing himself off to halfway down. And now the Habana is going to be the player to come and try and take the swing. But when my back's off, Kodaft going to be retreating from that position rather than trying to take a ballsy engagement that is very much a 50-50 on whether he wins or not. So now, with this Cade being on side, we are going to be seeing these hatches be a little bit more difficult than usual to open, but the Thatcher on side as well is going to mean that they do get cleared quite efficiently, to say the least.
Indeed, Flores drones not getting any room so far to find their targets as they are all being shot down and chased away. EMP nets coming up. Likely the hatches will be opened up. Double EMP net even to trick the potential electric claw being thrown. But this way the hatch will be opened up for sure. And this will give the attacking team a nice little new line of sight and entry point towards the bomb site. Even electric claw still trying to be picked up so they can be placed at different walls for later on. But this hatch has been opened up and can no longer be contested. Flashbangs come out. Potential drop coming out already. But the Warden is playing here the perfect counter for these flashbangs. He's picking the hatch. He might just go for a very nasty kill there, but then Senzo with a kill there on Amis. Ruster with a kill there on Senzo, which brings us to the 4v4 where it's still over 1 minute remaining as Exia gets a kill there on Tom.
Indeed, now we're in this 4v3 situation where the only person they've lost is that Cade. And, I mean, realistically, it's not a great man to lose, but also he's 0-3 with the TCSG. So if you want to lose anybody, it's probably going to be that man. Specifically coming into this round now. The Warden going to be hovering around in the corner, does get caught out by Senju, and it is equalized to a 3-on-3 as Klein finds one more. The Mirror prepping the C4, holding it in hand as the swing from Exia onto this E-box area is going to be coming into fruition, but with the holes being opened on that wall and the Habana going to be hovering around there, as now Klein finds one for himself. Exia, no trigger discipline on this man as he does just instantly go for the kill. He goes, that comes forward. And this Thatcher on pillar is going to be the last man standing as Exia gets a beautiful flick onto the opposite side of the on the opposite side of the pillar and manages to secure another round for his team 2-1 in an unexpected upset turnaround for the side of Eagle Empire.
Yeah, that's Eagle Empire, kind of the underdog here, securing the lead for the team in 2-1 position. A great score for them to be in, which certainly gives this team with the promise a little bit of the motivational boost, which will hopefully help them even further to even perform and surprises even further. So I'm very happy to see this 2-1 score, but at the same time, Mafia Squad, they have now lost 2 rounds in a row. Will they break this win streak of Eagle Empire, or will they bring it back to an equal 2-2? For this round, we'll be going to kitchen meeting.
We are going to be going to this meeting kitchen site, and I mean, this is one of those site setups that I did talk about with them, and we are going to be seeing come in. And I really like the way we sort of spoke about playing this site, and I'm not going to go into too much detail as to not spoil the differences in the way that they do play it. But as we come into this round, you do see things like the castle, that you can expect that sort of pressure to be relieved from certain sides of the bomb site, and I think that is going to be very much what they're aiming for coming into this round, as they do want to have that vertical pressure applied quite effectively.
Yeah, indeed, it will be a very difficult bomb site here for Eagle Empire to defend, but also at the same time for Mafia squads, it's a bomb site they don't attack too often. I mean, it's one of the lesser played bomb sites, and they will need to find a way to attack it properly. They will likely focus mostly here on the backstage area, big tower area, where they can, of course, open up the attic wall to secure control over attic, which will be very strong in the hands of the defenders, but also in their own hands. And then also there's the backstage wall, which provides a nice entry point and line of sight towards the building, the bomb site. One thing they need to be careful of is that Legion was playing a big tower. That's the first line of defense here for Eagle Empire. But as he's slowly descending the stairs here, he will try to avoid any engagement for now.
Going to be trying to avoid those engagements, so backs himself out into the attic area as Armis is going to be hovering around on these pillar stairs. He is going to be just seeing if he can take an engagement onto any of these players, and the OSA actually going to go into the smoke here, as a perfect smoke from that OSA shield is going to be deployed. That's going to be a free kill for the side of Eagle Empire, and now they're going to be in such a confident position coming into the remainder of this round. Taking out that OSA, which is your main execute, or part of your main execute, is going to be a very big deal. Though they do return fire with a vertical nade onto the Warden, but realistically, taking out a Fragger in place of that OSA isn't going to be as detrimental as people might think it is.
No, one good thing about Mafia Squad, however, is that they have been kind of splitting up their control over the both sides of the map. Also, the wall from main lobby has been opened up towards meeting, which gives them the opportunities to approach the bomb site from two different sides, make it even more difficult to play on site for the defensive team. But with the Legion still here on the top floor, they still have one big problem to take care of. They need to take care of this Legion because the Legion can easily defend from the hatch and fall back from the hatch, and that's actually then gets a kill there on Klein. But then, unfortunately, Kodev loses his life. It keeps going on and on. Elixir, however, on the floor, getting finished right away. And with this 2 versus 3, making a 1 versus 3, it's all coming out to action. The star player of the team, but gets taken care of pretty quickly. Meaning this round will be going to Mafia Squads, putting the score back on an equal 2-2.
Now, the thing that's a little worrying for the side of Mafia Squad here is that was their tertiary site. And realistically, allowing Eagle Empire to win 2 in a row after getting the first attack win on what I would say is a very over-aggressive Eagle Empire in that first round, you've got to be a little worried here coming into the rest of these rounds, because they're allowed to go back to that top floor site where they can play that more conservative playstyle that they played in round 2. And you also have to go back to that basement site in the next round, possibly, if they come out of this round with a win. And that becomes very scary, considering the only reason that that was as close as it was simply because of the overextension from not only Armis, but also the Warden that hovered around in the blue no man's land corner.
Indeed, and this is a 2-2 score, and as it has been 2 rounds since Eagle Empire has won a round here on the top floor, they're now allowed to go back here, and as we remember, they previously won this bomb site. I mean, they actually have played it twice. They lost it once, won it once. The question is, how will they do here for the 3rd time? Will they win it, or will they lose it?
Well, I think Elixir and Armis are probably 2 of the best gunners on the side of Eagle Empire. They just haven't quite woken up into this game so far. And I think if they are able to really wake up and actually be able to have an impact on this game, this could be a very scary game for the side of Mafia Squad. And I know that Eagle Empire are strong on this map. So if they're able to start winning a few more of their gunfights, I can see Eagle Empire doing extremely well coming into the remainder of this game.
I mean, it certainly will be a cool story and a very nice thing for them to happen. So very curious to see if we will see that happen. For now, it's just mostly Mafia Squad is still trying to find a way, and it's Senju playing as the Gridlock already inside of Armory, providing a very nice distraction for the Flores to blow up the deployable shield while Mai was trying to play behind. One big defensive material for him taking care of, still doing loads of damage there on the Gridlock, but now forced back to fall back towards Dorm's main room. Dom's main hall, where he can still try to contest bits, but he's no longer in such a strong position where he used to be.
Yeah, the Finker onside for the attack is going to mean that this Gridlock isn't down and out just yet with that 1-tap potential. And it is going to heal her, I think, 20 HP at a time? Or 15 HP at a time? I don't remember. But so. Either way, it's a minimum of 30 HP that she gets back, which means she can feasibly tank a bullet from long range without being too worried. So wouldn't write them off just yet, as Senju is going to be still taking that top side quite aggressively. Armis and Kodaf, both DBNO at the moment. Kodaf is quickly dealt with on that repeak, but we are going to be seeing Kodaft actually, or not Kodaft, Armis get picked back up as we get a beautiful one tap coming out of Elixir on that game's window.
Yeah, with this 4 versus 4, we still have 1 minute and 5 seconds remaining for the attackers to make that work happen. Unfortunately, bullets being missed there on the Torn. Blue was trying to cross there on Blue, or sorry, on Attic, but Attic is still gathering information, getting ready for the setup. I mean, the wall has been opened up. There's one player at the window. They are in a good position to go for a potential execute. We see the first members move in, but Amis getting a first kill there on Senzo, taking out a player, but then Kenzie taking the kill on Amis. A 3 versus 3, an equal man count, with the timer still ticking on 40 seconds right there. Nade's going to be thrown perfectly at the rotation, but no, being picked. Rusta with the kill there on Kenzie brings his team in the advantage at a 3 versus 2, with both Senju and Tom left standing for the offensive side. And the Gridlock being taken care of was extremely low in HP, lost the gunfight fairly easily, and now it's all coming out of Tom, who gets the kill there on Elixir, brings himself to 2 versus 1, is able to pop some Goyo canisters to buy him some more time and disrupt the defenders. But as Russell is still playing upstairs, finds some, takes him out, secures yet another point for Eagle Empire as they now retake the lead with a 3-2 score.
Yeah, beautifully played. And something we didn't notice there and didn't quite have the read on was the fact that the Ace didn't have the diffuser. So he was in that default plant spot, and I'm pretty sure it was back in trophy from what we saw on the end of round cam there from the Solace actually having her gadget active. A little bug that we have is in those replays in game and also in actual spectate and match replay and whatever else. You can see the Solace's gadget when the gadget is active if you're on that side. You were able to see in the kill cam that the actual diffuser was far back, and Exia was aware of this, which is why Exia was still below, not pushing. And I actually very much respect that from them as a team. They're taking their 1v1. They know there's not much time left. They know that it's going to be one of those situations where this Ace is going to be forced to plant or forced to try and bite out the Solace. And realistically, as long as Exia plays it smart, you should come out of that with a win. The drone spot on top of that little drone hole is quite commonly known, but it's one of those where it's still commonly used because of how good it is. This cave floor right here is something that I actually made the team aware of because it's something their supports weren't really using or utilizing that much. But now they are, so I'm very happy with that, as we are going to be seeing Flores drones come through into blue, dealing with that barbed wire first. Unfortunate turn of events as he was placing the barbed wire as it came in, so not able to really deny that Flores drone as it comes through. They're going to be trying to open the soft wall with the second one, and I don't think it quite works out for them as like it places mostly on the reinforcement. And now we're going to be seeing Kenzie try and take this backstairs area and apply a bit of pressure. The Twitch drone there. Actually, be able to open that mirror.
Yeah, finding the mirror, that's one of the big things here for the offensive side. So just deny that mirror window and have that extra line of sight and denying this very strong position from the defensive team. Lots of drone work still happening. What is it? The Fenrir being spotted there in blue. At least they know where he's playing now, but also Kodaf here playing on the basement, close to the pillar, just getting ready for anyone from the big stairs, where currently I believe it's Finka who's playing there, getting ready for the engagement, laying on the floor, just waiting for any defender to overextend, to overpeak, so they can lose their heads, but just patiently waiting for the defenders to make a move. Somehow being exposed, probably just a feed or something, but this caused them to get damage to quite a bit. Another defender trying to push up, but unfortunately not securing the kill, causing the Finka to fall back even further.
I'd like to also make you aware, 3 C4s in pocket of Eagle Empire right now, and more than likely one of them going to be thrown at this backstairs at some point, if they do remain alive. Other one's going to be used for more post-plant type situations, like throwing over the shelves, but Exia manages to find 2 for himself as he gets the Finka and the Flores pushing through that blue double door. Senzo now going to be left all alone on that side as Klein does manage to find a kill for himself. And we do see them all just kind of pushing from different areas now. This punch hole isn't going to find them anything just yet, but Exia finds the final man on blue, gets a triple kill for himself in the round, and now we're going to be seeing a potential ace coming out of round number 6 for Eagle Empire, potentially leaving them on a 4-2 split here.
Actually securing his 10th kill for this match so far. He's doing exceptionally well for the team and could indeed make it an ace if he gets those final 2 kills. Window and Clay, the two attackers left standing, one approaching from Freezer, one approaching from the laundry stairs. C4 being thrown, not connecting. Kodov getting the kill there on Klein. Ace denied, but still kill for the team, which is what matters. Then Kodov getting taken care of, and it's all coming down to Gridlock, who's currently playing in Freezer. Her position is known, and it's Amis with the final kill. I believe even his first kill for the team, and therefore Eagle Empire yet securing other rounds, putting themselves on a 4-2 split with a very nice advantage.
Yeah, and that's something that a lot of people genuinely wouldn't expect. And I think if it wasn't for the fact that I've very thoroughly talked through like a few of these maps, especially this one, with the side of Eagle Empire, I feel like it could be a very different game, because it's not just me that's like altering the things that are going on. I'm just implanting ideas, and they're just bringing them to life as they're coming into this match. And I am genuinely enjoying seeing it, especially considering they're the underdog coming into this. And with them being the underdog coming into this, you kind of have to expect the fact that like this is borderline do or die for them. Yeah. Coming into, well, almost, I say relegation, but it's not really relegation. It's more like
being
not
eliminated.
Making playoffs.
Yeah, indeed. Like if Eagle Empire doesn't score points today, then they have only one more chance left, which will even be very difficult, because then it will come down to round difference at 1 point, most likely. But for now, them putting up this 4-2 and potentially going to secure their first points today significantly increases their chances for the upcoming 2 matches to still get enough points and make it out of the groups. Eagle Empire, this is the best we have seen from them so far during the group stage, which makes me very excited. But now the roll swap has happened, and it's Eagle Empire on the attack. It's just a question if they will be able to maintain their success.
I mean, yeah, as we come into this round, they are going to be pushing into that basement site, and we do see holds on the Twitch in order to like deny that. And I think the side of Eagle Empire have taken into account that normally on this map, well, the side of Mafia Squad is a very active team. They are a team that like to have a lot of movement in their roster. Obviously, not so much in this round, as they are doing pretty much full turtle site, and they're not really holding anything right now. They had like everybody in highway there for a second, but like Armis coming along with this Jackal is a very good idea, considering how the side of Mafia Squad play. But you do have this Wamai pretty much selling himself here as he does make his way onto the upper echelon of this tower stairs. So more than likely, if this Jackal comes over here, he is going to be able to track those footsteps and see whereabouts in sight he is going to be holding, and maybe even try and get some sort of isolation onto the player himself.
Indeed, and with almost a 1 minute 30 mark being secured, there's not a single bit of damage being dealt so far. So that's a very interesting thing to point out, where this round is just progressing a little bit slower. Yes, Eagle Empire has secured quite a bit of control over the map, but with no kills being secured so far, they will need to get some kills very soon. And then also with the AK-8 perfectly tracking the hatch here, I was wondering where that second EMP nade was what we were waiting for, but it seems like that Oza has used both of hers. Actually, it's the one with EMP nades. That hatch will no longer be able to be opened up, as it will remain electrified, which is a very big bummer here for the side of Eagle Empire.
Indeed it is. They do manage to get that freezer hatch open, though, as they have got Exia quite far down into that freezer so far. He is going to be backing himself out, and it looks like the Hibana is going to be the one to try and take that engagement. But it looks like they do want to try and take this main take. They're moving their Osa shield through, and I think they're just trying to bait out the C4 here from the mute if they're able to get it. And in comes an impact grenade from the Wamai, which is exactly what they wanted. They wanted to bait out this utility. Obviously, they've lost a man for it, which isn't ideal, but they are able to get these X-Cairo pellets onto the mirror window. They don't quite activate because of the mute jammer on the opposite side, but they are able to clean up that kill onto the mute on the far side. Kenzie going to be hovering around in front of the Jackal. It doesn't quite realize he's there, and a low health mirror is going to be able to secure those 2 kills. In goes Elixir into that closet. Doesn't quite realize that the man's going to be crouching behind that smoke, and he does secure the kill for himself, and that's going to be the round over, giving 4-3
Yeah, I
the
mean,
side of Eagle Empire still, but closer to that equalization.
3 kills from the side of Mafia Squad by hiding in corners. It's a very interesting thing to see. But I mean, it works. If it works, it's a good thing to do, and it's surely paid off for Mafia Squad here, securing yet another round, paying for disrupting the win streak that Eagle Empire was on, and securing their first round on the defense. So that's at least a bit of good news here from Mafia Squad, that the defense so far is working out for them well. The question is, will they be able to secure a second round here on the defense? Now they have to go to Dorms Main Hall and Kids Dorms, or Eagle Empire secure their first offensive round.
Well, yeah, on the side of Eagle Empire, more than likely we're going to be seeing them play a little bit more sort of methodically coming into this round, because obviously with Exia really feeling himself in this game, he is going to he did try and take that first round with a bit of aggression, and I think that kind of didn't really work out. But we are seeing Armis get a couple more kills. He's starting to pick up the pace a little bit alongside Kodaft, alongside Holes, and I think that these kill counts are going to start to really increase on the side of Eagle Empire if they are able to keep themselves in good position. So on the side of Mafia Squad, they really need to up their game here to actually be able to keep up in the further side of this round. But jump out.
Run out. A nice attempt, unfortunately not finding anyone, as I think it might have been just a little bit too early at the round beginning. Attempt to pre-fire to the wall, almost securing someone, as it was fairly close, but in the end, he still gets a kill. He finds the Maverick. That's huge for him, as Maverick has now been taken care of. One of the key operators in the offensive round here from Eagle Empire, as he likely was meant to deal with some of those mute jammers, which they now will be unable to, at least with the one in attic. They can still deal with the one on the main wall of walking closet, a bit of nade from below, but the one at attic will be very difficult to be dealt with, and it's huge here for the side of Mafia Squad.
Indeed, as I mean, something that a lot of people aren't quite aware of is the fact that the jammer actually inside of the attic, you can deal with
Right.
with those nades, but if it's electrified specifically,
Right.
a new trick that was recently discovered by a few of these teams, and I haven't really seen many people use it, is the fact that you can ice the top of the lower wall against electrification in order to deal with Bandit.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting.
So the wall actually below that, Senju actually nearly gets taken out by a vertical nade from Armits there. That's going to leave him on 1 HP, as Elixir is going to be making his way over towards that walk-in closet to be able to open the wall. The nade from below is going to be clearing out that mute jammer on the wall also, and we're just going to be seeing a bit of aggression come out of Eagle Empire here, more than likely, and see if they can almost burst their way into sight and swoop their way in and take the bait that's ready.
Yeah, with this 3 versus 4, it's really up to Eagle Empire to make their move to get those kills and secure a potential man advantage here, or at least even it out. I mean, when the Frost is extremely low in HP, can easily be finished, but they need to get those kills. And with 60 seconds remaining, they need to to step up their game, to hurry up a little bit, otherwise they won't be able to. And then unfortunately, Kodev there falls to the side of Kenzie. It's a 2 versus 4, make it a 1 versus 4, make it a 0 versus 4, as the members of Mafia Squad end this round fairly quickly and secure yet another round, the second one on a row on their defense, and put a score on an equal 4-4.
Well, 4-4 on both sides. The defensive side really working out for both of these teams so far, as now we're going to be going to the tertiary site for the side of Mafia Squad. And I think this is really where Eagle Empire have to shine. XC are going to be picking up that blitz, so more than likely we're going to be seeing a bit of a green corridor sort of aggressive play from these guys. Just as an expectation, this isn't a strategy I've talked about with them. This is just something I've seen happen quite a lot. You bring along that blitz, you bring along the Finker. The Finker gives you a quick Gone 6 in through the window, and you just fly your way through green corridor to try and see if you can get any of these picks. Even if you don't decide to use the Gone 6, which, no, Finker doesn't have Gone 6, it's Yana that you normally bring for this, because Yana now has the Gone 6. But either way, Dekebi has a Gone 6, who they're now bringing, because it looks like they are going to be going for an entirely very rush-based strategy. And yeah, you can just kind of send your way in through this green corridor and get really aggressive, especially if they barricade off this double door across the end, especially if they don't really play anyone in kitchen on that kitchen door in the early round, you can very much get a lot of ground and even site pressure.
Yeah, indeed. With this very aggressive lineup here from Eagle Empire, all eyes are now focused on them as they can make that move fairly quickly if they want to. They seem to be going here for the kitchen hallway window, potentially. I mean, breach charges are in play. They could even open up with a nice little surprise, even though the window seems to be prepared somehow. Constix comes out, the window is being opened, the Blitz rushes in, tries to find the castle, but unfortunately is not able to do it so far, then gets the injured. Castle finished off before being thrown, unfortunately not hitting the target well enough. Plan's going to be attempted there. Bear Elixir, but 2 members fall off the side of Eagle Empire. It's a 3 versus 5. Which soon will be post planted, 2 versus 4 post plants, which will be very much possible for the members of Eagle Empire, but they need to be very careful because they need to defend the diffuser, and various defenders are already playing very close on that. On top of that, the Blitz, of course, will be the perfect counter to deny that plant, but unfortunately, no. Tom and Windu each secure kill. That's even a quad skill there for Tom. And with plenty of time remaining, Tom can secure the defuse here and win yet another round here for the team, putting the score on 4-5. For the first time in a long time, Mafia squads in the advantage.
Indeed they are. And after such a rough defensive half or a rough offensive half for the side of Mafia squad, they are actually managing to get themselves some rounds here. And winning 3 in a row gives you a lot of confidence coming into the rest of this game, considering how you have this sort of remainder coming up as, well, a flawless.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Actually could be even better for them moving into the rest of this game. But something I brought up very early in the game is the shield ops being available, as I said. And in the last round, we saw them used. This round, we're going to see the Monty. The other side, going to be brought in.
Yeah, if one shield doesn't work, you can just try to go for the other one. So potentially that might work a little bit better. I mean, of course, the multi-shield is quite a lot bigger. And the last time it was a problem that even though Blitz was having the shield in front of his body, he was still being taken care of pretty easily towards the postman situation. So hopefully this multi-shield will be able to provide more protection. But we do see some repicks coming out. 3 repicks in total. Multi-shield being dropped. And actually now playing on the Thatcher instead, which might be a smart pick, as they did struggle quite a lot earlier to counter that Kaid, which is being played again once more.
Indeed, looks like the mirror is going to be positioned on that wall, as actually it has switched off onto the Thatcher. But the E-box wall is going to be very, very good and very, very handy to have with that mirror window. And the Touchstone does fly in, manage to get the mirror open, almost gets the second. Not sure if he actually got the shot up in the end, but I don't think he did. As now we're going to be seeing, Eagle Empire actually start and try and take some engagements here. Armis loses out the first one to Plane. As now we're going to be seeing them just kind of stagnate. They're just going to rethink and try and figure out if these guys are going to be getting much more aggressive than they already have been so far. Try and bait these players.
Indeed, with this 4 versus 5, we now continue with still 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock. So attackers still have enough time to regroup and still make things work for themselves. I mean, they still find themselves in a position where they still need to get enough control to actually make something happen for the team. They still need to open up those hatches, still need to get proper map control. I believe every single defender is playing downstairs. No, that's not true. There's one playing towards the freezer stairs. I think I can see him there in the top right of my screen in the distance. So that's one player they definitely need to take care of before they start getting further control. But as the EMP nades are now coming out, we can see the Ibana pellets being shot and being activated. Double EMP to counter the Kaid electric cloud tracking. And this time does get opened up, which is at least one big improvement for Eagle Empire compared to the previous time they were attacking that bomb site.
Indeed, as now we do see Kenzie just postured up on this top floor and on this middle floor, sorry. And it can be a really good position for some of these defenders to take for themselves. But I mean, only for operators like Wamai, who are these 2 speeds, these 1 speeds aren't really going to be finding enough sort of value from taking these aggressive stances on multi-floor holds. So we are going to be seeing Wamai lose his life inside of that security closet, and Eagle Empire are going to be looking to try and get a bit of a hatch drop on the go here as they do throw that nade through, and Flashbang is going to be not long to follow as it looks like Exia wants to try and get aggressive on this side here. Does manage to find a kill onto Mute. It's now a 3v3 situation, and this is going to be very good for the side of Eagle Empire if they want to move even further into this round. The Warden going to find one, finds a double Tom onto Kodaft and Elixir, and Exia trying to take the swing through the rotate is going to put the side of Mafia Squad on match point.
Yeah, 4 rounds here on a row for Mafia Squad since they have switched to the defensive side. So the defensive side is clearly working out very well for them, just like it did for Eagle Empire, as they also scored 4 points in total. But this also puts Eagle Empire on a 4-round lose streak, which is not looking too good for them. They now need to win 2 rounds on the offensive in a row without losing a single. And that's even the side where they haven't even scored a single point yet so far, to still make it to the 6-6 and to still secure the overtime where they can still at least secure 1 point. But for now, things are not looking too great for Eagle Empire. The only positive thing is, again, that they can go to Dorm's main hall, get to Dorm's, where they did get a little bit closer to potentially winning the rounds. But yet again, it's going to be extremely tricky for them.
It is. They are going to be going to this top floor once again, and Eagle Empire really need to start making a move on this offense right now if they are to actually secure a couple rounds for themselves here. They do want to try and get this to overtime. They do want to try and get this at least 2 points on the board, because if they're not able to get these 2 points on the board, then they're not able to reach 5, and if they're not able to reach 5, then they're going to suffer coming into the remainder of the Playdays, considering they only have 2 to play, and one of them is expected by them as a team to be a default loss.
Indeed, and with the match point here for Mafia Squads, all eyes are focused on them. They could end this match this very round. This could be the very last round of this match. But if it's up for Eagle Empire, they will give all of their energy, all of the power for these upcoming 2 rounds to still secure that overtime and still have the chance to win some points here. So we'll see how things go. Russell already getting damaged a little bit there, but still managing to survive, as there was the Warden laying on the floor there of double doors, just waiting for anyone to walk past the main door to do some damage. Unfortunately for him, not getting the kill. Fortunate for Russell that the damage is very little, so he can still make a lot of effort for the team.
Indeed, we do see Armis taking a very aggressive stance inside of this armory area, potentially going to be pushing in onto Senzo here as he does make his way into the corridor, but the window getting opened by the defender in tower, and he is just going to fall off of it a little bit just to avoid getting caught by that, as now the Goyo is going to be drifting in and out of the sightline for the Finker right now, as Hawes is going to be trying to take that engagement on the sledge from the far side. Exia finds one onto Senju, a very good start for the side of Eagle Empire, as they have lost a bit of health on 2 of their players.
And with this 5 versus 3, things will continue. Eagle Empire in a very good spot to secure some rounds here, as the attacks are also getting very close to the bomb site already. So very nice control from the side of Eagle Empire, from where they can go for an execution anytime. So it will be very tricky for the remaining 3 defenders, of which one is even playing offside at the moment, as far as I believe. No, actually, no. One jumps out, gets a kill there on Russa. That's huge for the side of Mafia Squad, as they now are opening some opportunities for themselves, and actually getting the kill.
Outside,
but then Elixir getting killed there.
Not. I'm lying. I read the outlines wrong.
Well, either way, it's a 4 versus 1 in the favor of Eagle Empire. This surely should be a round for them, as Senzo is the only one left standing in this 4 versus 1 situation. There's 1 minute on the clock. Plenty of time for Eagle Empire to set themselves up, secure some information. But no, Senzo with a double kill. Still a 2 versus 1. Still the man advantage for Eagle Empire, but surely they're not going to throw this. They have 2 members still left standing. 45 seconds. Get our information. Find where the player is playing. Get the diffuser down. But we'll see how things go. 40 seconds on the clok. Senzo is playing close by.
Drone work coming out of the ace right now, as he is going to be moving that drone through sight. Does notice that the man is going to be sitting around in games. They're going to be taking the double swing. Is he going to be able to find it? He finds 1, he finds 2, and that's going to be the game over in favor of Mafia Squad in a 1v4 clutch for Senzo.
Oh, wow. The one thing that was not supposed to happen, the 4 versus 1, unfortunately still being lost. The golden ticket for Eagle Empire to at least secure that 1 point to bring the match to the 5-6 score. But unfortunately, it didn't work out for them and they lose the match. Still 0 points for Eagle Empire, where things get extremely tricky right now. They still have 2 upcoming matches where they can still technically earn 6 points, of which one of those matches is against the other weakest team, which is Entropy Gaming. But still, it's really, really do or die for Eagle Empire right now.
Well, in order for them to have any chance of really making it out of this alive, the graphic is wrong. We'll just quickly ignore that. The score needs to be bumped up. But for Eagle Empire, that's so disheartening, especially considering the internal issues going on right now and things like that. That's such a crushing defeat, especially being in a 1v4 like that. You've got to be super disappointed with the way you guys played. With the way Eagle Empire played that round. And I think moving into the future, I think that more going to be looking at the roster changes that are going to be coming into fruition coming into the next season, more than actually trying to win the next few games.
Yeah, indeed, it's an unfortunate thing, but still, Mafia Squad securing the points, well-earned points, 5 round wins in a row that were so beautifully played by them. And with this, we only have one more match remaining for today. I mean, the schedule is now being fixed, kind of. I mean, there's still System 4-7 for EOS Entropy, but that is going to be the upcoming match. The score is going to be reset. So we're now going to prepare that final match for you. So stay close, because we will be back very soon. See you guys in about 5 minutes. And welcome back, everyone. After, again, a short break, we're back here for the final match of today, which is going to be Team EOS versus Entropy Gaming. Nash, what do you think of this final match?
I think realistically, other than obviously Eagle Empire versus Entropy, I think if Entropy are going to win a game here, it's got to be against EOS. And I think if either of these bottom two teams, especially after seeing what last game unfolded to be, I think if either of these two teams are actually able to make it into that top four, it has to be a win against EOS here for Entropy. Because as much as they won't take their place on round difference, they'll be able to overtake Eagle Empire. They'll be able to put themselves in a position ready. So when they come into their next game, which is, I'm pretty sure, against Eagle Empire, other than obviously the match from Playday 1, they are actually going to put themselves in a position where they can overtake EOS, especially if in Playday 1, that is being played on Saturday the 11th, be sure to tune in. If they go into Playday 1 and they play against Zach, even if they lose, as long as they come out of this Playday and the Eagle Empire Playday with a win, and Mafia Squad beat EOS, they can qualify for that top four.
Yeah, indeed. And if we actually can quickly bring back the standings, there's also one more thing I want to say, because right now, of course, it's going to be the number 4 versus 5 team, but also Team EOS. If they don't secure points right now, then Mafia Squad technically qualifies for the next stage, because they are now on 7 points. Where basically, I'm sorry, if Entropy Gaming gets points, and Entropy Gaming could still contest Mafia Squad. If they don't score points today, then Mafia Squad is technically safe. Like, they can still drop to like the 4th space, but they cannot drop out of the top 4. And this could be the moment for Mafia Squad to qualify for the next stage, just like LDL already did. And let me take a quick peek. Flawless 7 and E-Wave. So that's also one important thing about this match.
Definitely so. And now, I mean, Entropy had a genuinely really strong showing in the last Playday that we saw, and I think that, like, even in the rounds that they were losing, they managed to keep a lot of them relatively close. And I think when it came down to the final sort of parts of the rounds that they actually won, they were able to put themselves in such good positions and seem so confident in their play that I believe that they can genuinely come out of this with a win.
Yeah, indeed. And before we can jump into this game, I believe the game is already on the way to start pretty soon from now. Let's just quickly take a look at the map ends for this match. And it seems like that we are yet again going to Oregon. Oh my, Oregon. We have seen this map already so many times in this competition. Like I already tend to say so many times, it's kind of getting bored of it. I don't want to cast this map anymore. Oh, damn, Oregon. And guess this
I
is right,
mean,
Nash.
look, man,
We
I,
have seen, yeah.
I
Oh,
want to
sorry.
throw this out. I want to throw this out there. Like, as much as Oregon is very much overplayed in like these lower level leagues, I do agree it is very overplayed. It's so much more interesting than casting Clubhouse. Like, at least there's still alternative plays, and none of the sites are like inherently attacker sided because of how much they've been played and things like that. I think generally speaking, like
Mhm.
it's still a map that can have interesting strategies, and it's still a map that we kind of learn new things about even to this day.
Yeah, but yet we're in the fourth week of ESA Cup, and we still haven't seen maps like Border and Nighthaven Labs. Okay, Nighthaven Labs, I can somewhat understand. It's the newest map in the pool. It's a tricky one. Even in the ranked, it gets banned quite often. But at a Border, we haven't even seen Border a single time yet. Yes, it's a bit more of a BO3 map where we likely will see Border quite a bit more in the next stage and the final stage. But still, not seeing those maps yet in the fourth week is just a bit of a bummer to me.
Well, if we take a quick look at the team cards, I'll let you talk us
Mhm.
through EOS because you probably know a little more about that side than I do.
Yeah, of course, EOS. We know them very. We know the players very well from, of course, previous seasons when they were still known by Penta or Team No Name. But now, of course, they have been picked up by Team EOS, the organization, and that's where they're playing at right now. They have been doing fairly well within this competition. I mean, if I take a quick look again, they were on the fourth spot in this competition. They have won one match and lost one match, so they're currently on 3 points. And as you can see, I mean, the total win rate 0%. Oh, sorry, 50%. That's indeed correct. The best map is Consulates. They play Consulates, whenever the worst map is Oregon. So Team EOS, one of the stronger teams in this group still. I do think they still have a good chance to make it towards the upper levels of this group, and I do have a good feeling they will qualify. But then, of course, there's also Team Entropy Gaming, as team name, as organization, the 2 times champion of ESA Cup, but of course now with a complete different roster and complete different accomplishments, performance, which is not really what we're used to with Entropy Gaming. So they have not been doing too well so far, unfortunately. And today is again, like just like Eagle Empire, a bit of a do or die moment to still have a chance to potentially qualify.
And on the side of Entropy Gaming, we have Nickit, we have Nexus, Trace, Guilehite, as I've been told it's pronounced, Fixwiz, Nerdy, Yikes, and Charlie. And, well, realistically, as you are pretty much able to tell by looking at the two rosters, obviously these guys have a 0% win rate, but it's the clash of the German Titans. And I mean, realistically, coming out of this matchup is going to be only one German team, considering the other one still, well, it's going to be relatively neck and neck if Entropy are able to actually come out of this game with a win. So I think generally speaking, Entropy have nothing to lose if they lose,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
EOS have everything.
Yeah, just take a look at that vote. 89% for EOS versus 11% for Entropy. Not too much fate, but that's also a great opportunity for Entropy to prove everyone else wrong, like we have seen before. Map is loading in. We're going to Oregon one more time for today, and it's going to be, if I remember correctly, it's going to be EOS on the defense and Entropy Gaming on the offense.
Well,
there we go.
Going into the operator bans, we are a little behind. We do see Ying, which is fairly common, as I said. Azami soon to follow. Another one that's fairly common. She's one of those operators that can very much restructure the site and actually change the outcome of a round just based on a gadget alone. And I think that's one of those things that you really need to take off the table for these operators. We have seen a little bit of a pause just to allow our observer to reconnect, and that should be over with relatively shortly. But the Dekebi going out is just a common ban at the moment, considering how she is so dominant in the current meta. And I just think that overall, fairly relatively decent bans. Just common bans, nothing really out of pocket right now, and I think more than likely the final ban on the side of the defense is probably going to be something along the lines of a Solace, a Fenris, one of those operators that is just very generic and people don't really enjoy playing against.
Yeah, indeed. This could very much be expected. As far as I'm hearing, we're just waiting for some hand cam issues to be resolved so the match can resume and be played fair and square. But then, indeed, soon we will see the final operator ban coming out. And it's indeed happening right now in 1 second. The final one is going to be Mira, not one you just mentioned, but still a very common ban and a very commonly played operator on a map like Oregon, especially in the basement. So, Mira off the board. We won't see her for this match.
Yeah, and I think that leaves us in this position of knowing that Solace is going to be pretty prominent coming through this matchup, and that's simply just because of how much she brings to the table with her gadgetry. So we'll see if they actually do decide to bring her on the side of on the side of Entropy, or even on the opposite side, but. It's also one of those things where, on the side of EOS, but it's also one of those things where, like, he's not a necessity. And especially on a site like Basement, she's not very impactful. So, looking at the way these teams actually are going to play, more than likely, I imagine that it's just going to be Solace on every site that isn't Basement. Because she just does so well.
Yeah, that's certainly expectable to something to see. So we'll see how things go. Floor also coming out here from the offensive side again. Very common here on the basement to deal with those deployable shields and to push people out of blue or elbow. Where I'm not entirely sure if that rotation actually has been made. I wasn't paying attention on that one, but I assume with the setup there with the double ADS and the mute jammer, that rotation has indeed been made. And there's also how many shields? Only one shield available, so no shield there on elbow, but still elbow will be a strong position. And here we're just waiting and finding the first kill on Nerdy. We saw something similar in the previous match, and then the kill didn't land, but this time the kill does land, and it's a beautiful way to open up the match with the Hibana, the only hard breacher off the board. Buck didn't bring secondary hard breaching utility, but even if he did, he also got taken out right now, and it's a beautiful start here for the side of EOS with 2 members of Entropy now off the board.
Oh my god, he nearly finds a third. Hero going absolutely crazy right now, getting that getting Fixed Wiz down to like 1 HP as he is going to be hovering around in that garage area. The Mozzie Pest does hack that drone, and we are going to be seeing it get shot out pretty much immediately. And now we're just going to be in a position where Entropy have to really take the initiative here because, well, the side of EOS are just going to sit still.
Indeed, a bit of a standstill here, which is perfectly understandable from the side of EOS as they have the man advantage. They don't need to get over aggressive. We have seen so many times how that can go very, very wrong for the teams. So that's something that makes perfect sense for them to avoid. But in the end, the first kill does happen here from the side of Entropy. Tyro, who was on a beautiful 2-kill streak, gets taken care of. But the Entry with a kill there on Nickit brings the favor still here to the side of EOS, where Ferdinand also gets a kill of Flawless, leaving Galhad all left standing, and an Anti with the final kill on Galhad secures the first round for EOS, putting the score on 1-0.
Yeah, name very fitting for the situation that Galhad was in right there. NT is able to find that final kill in that round. And now we're going to be seeing them go into round number 2 with, well, newfound sort of hope, I guess, because they're going to want to try and really like disrupt the way this is being played.
Indeed, Dorms, main all kids Dorms, of course, the bomb side they will now go to after they won their first defensive round on the basement. I mean, we didn't even really get to see the basement at all, actually. Not a single attacker even went to the basement, as every single player lost their lives upstairs, really. And that's I almost felt like we didn't play that basement just now, but now we're going to the top floor, where we're going for an interesting setup. It seems like that the rotation from big tower towards the attic is going to be shut open, so the defenders have a new rotation and are definitely going to put some roam work here to make it very difficult for the members of Entropy to get some proper hold of this map. And I'm very curious to see how that will go.
Yeah, definitely. As we are going to be going into this second round. It isn't all over yet for the side of Entropy. They do still have a lot of opportunities to unfold for themselves, and I think that it all really comes down to how the split looks at the end of the half. So when it comes down to losing one, you're not going to be too disappointed, but you're not going to be too happy with it either. So they're just going to bring along relatively the same setup. A lot of soft breaching utility on that Ram, alongside the secondary shotgun on Guile Height, who's now dead, alongside the sledge, alongside the buck. And with that sort of like major amount of soft breaching utility, you can imagine that they're probably going to try and play very, very open plan, very, very aggressively coming into this round. And at the moment, we are seeing a bit of aggression come out of this Ram. She nearly finds a kill onto Freddy as he is going to be just letting his toes be seen, but kills coming out all over the shop right now as everyone's just peeking into these spawn peek angles and these aggressive angles from these players. N-Team going to be hovering around inside of main lobby, getting his way up the armory stairs now, as they do know this man is going to be hovering around on rappel. C4 misses just by a little bit on that window, and it looks like Jaeger is just going to walk up and shoot that for his teammate. And now it's going to be a 1 versus 5. And realistically, in a 1 versus 5 situation,
wow, that could almost
as a essentially a tactical timeout.
Yeah, that could have almost been the end of the round with that runner from the Mozzie, which almost connected, but Nerdy just barely responding in time to actually get the kill here, but now finds himself in a 4 versus 1 situation. But still 1.5 minutes remaining, half of the round. Technically, this is still an opportunity for him to make things work in 1 versus 4, with this much time remaining is very much doable. And he will definitely go and attempt and get some kills here. With the Frost being very close by, he could get the kill on that Frost. Hedge being open with the ace charge, hoping for someone to fall through the gap and fall into his Claymore. But then Stero with an insane run out, with the same rotation, finds the kill there on the final player. It's yet again another round going to the side of EOS, putting the score on 2-0.
Yeah, very nice run out coming out of the Jaeger right there. Very scary, because, I mean, realistically, the ace could have turned around for that, but obviously didn't quite realize what was going on and ends up getting himself caught, as now we move into round number 3. 2-0 in favor of the side of EOS, and still a bit of potential on the side of Entropy, but they really need to find their footing in this game and actually set themselves up for an opportunity here.
Indeed, this is the one bomb site indeed where there's a good chance for Entropy to secure some points here, as this will likely be the weaker one here from the side of EOS. But at the same time, EOS is a strong team. We have seen that from various other competitions as well. I believe they recently won RBS Season 1, where they were where they were playing the Grand Finals, but actually won a BO5 right there. So they are a very strong team, a very capable team. Even also back when they were still called Team No Name or Panta, they were very capable. And I think they have gotten even better since then. And I think that ESA Season 7 might be one of the chances to get pretty far throughout the competition. So we'll see how things go.
Definitely so. We are going to be moving ourselves to the mid-floor site. They are going to be playing Kitchen Dining, which is a little bit of a difference maker for a few of these teams, because that tower push is one of those where, like, both of these sites are definitely about as equal as each other in strength for pretty much every team, but they're both played very, very differently. You need that sort of presence towards the small tower, which you've got from the castle and the warden over here, to just apply enough pressure to be able to stop them from being able to get in and really deal some lethal damage to your team. And well, with the way it's going right now, the C4 being in hand by N-Team below, they are just going to be waiting for this jump in. And something that a lot of people don't realize is you can see the debris, or you can see parts of the debris from the window through the floor. And I mean, they're just listening for this thermite charge anyway. The thermite charge goes off on the opposite side. He isn't able to get the C4 through the floor, and that's going to be now open and usable by the attackers. But not quite entirely favorable, because they don't have the space.
And with that wall open, they now have a beautiful line of sight and entry point towards the bomb side. But still, with the defenders, the way they are set up, it will still be very difficult to secure the control. But Anti then getting a kill on Flawless. Again, the first attacker losing his life. Freddy then being injured on the floor, down but not out. Could still be revived as he's laying in a fairly secure position there in the hallway. He just needs to crawl around the corner to be revived safely, and that's exactly what's happening. So he will be revived, but this is also the perfect distraction for Nika to make his way into the bomb site for a perfect flank. He could from something very deadly, but no, from the hedge he could be seen by Tyro getting the kill there on Nika. Gala with the kill there on NT. It's a 4 versus 3. The defenders now in the man advantage, in a very good position where the attackers now need to look for a new way to re-enter the bomb site and regain control.
Indeed, but it looks like they are just going to be opting to carry on trying to pressure on this side, on the small tower side. Buck going to be almost walking into that angle against the Frost, but she is able to find the kill for herself, and now we're in a 2 versus 4. Looks like we've got Nerdy and Garhite in this situation, and Garhite won a 1v3, pretty well, essentially a 1v3. I guess it was a 2v3, but got all 3 kills on his own. In a match literally yesterday. So now they're going to be going for that plan on the Thermite C4 ripped, but not being sent out just yet. Gets sent across the site, isn't able to find the man it's looking for. The swing from Nerdy manages to find Freddy, and Tim falling as well is going to leave Tiro in this 1v2. He takes a swing onto the corridor, isn't able to find the frag, gets 2 opportunities onto both of the players and gets cleaned up by Nerdy. That's going to be the round for Entropy. In that 2v4 situation, turned around completely.
Yeah, Entropy Gaming finally delivering some success for the team. It's now 2-1 score. Yes, there's still 1 point behind on EOS, but at least this is a bit of a start. Not too late yet. And with this 2-1, hopefully the momentum has been gaining a little bit in their favor now. And they have been getting the feeling as a team right now where they hopefully can get some more rounds on the way to still have a good chance here. 2-1 score. From where we now will be going back to the basements where Entropy will be getting a second chance to attack the bomb sites where they previously failed.
Well, the thing is, on a map like Oregon, 4-2 split isn't exactly life or death, because it's one of those maps where obviously the basement is extremely defender-sided, but the rest of the sites can somewhat favour the attackers if not played correctly. So I think in this situation, you're not too worried if you're the side of Entropy. Being able to find 1 round win in 3 means that you're going to at least come out of this with a 4-2 split if you play the same. And I think that this could be an extremely good thing for the side of Entropy here. Like, actually being able to get themselves onto the attack with more than just a round to their name, or more than 0 rounds to their name, is going to be very, very good.
Yeah, indeed. And Entropy Gaming now finally winning their first offensive round could potentially mean there's more in where that came from. And with Amaru in play, that's actually going to be very interesting. Amaru already getting inside of the building very, very early on. I mean, that's Amaru specializes herself. With this early entry, she can hopefully create a bit of a surprise attack here onto the defenders and secure the man advantage early on. Mozzie down the roam, that's one thing she needs to be careful with, because Mozzie is getting very close, but with all those drones on the way, I guess they will find out those positions very early. But then Freddy with the kill, with the headshot there on Flawless, denies the whole plan here from the side of Entropy, and already takes out that Amaru very early on.
Yeah, does find that kill for himself, and I mean, it's going to be a very good start for the side of EOS if they are to come out of this round with a win. And sorry, now it leaves the side of Entropy to actually play catch-up here, as they have got the numbers disadvantage, and they really need to start applying pressure on and towards the site. But the Mozzie on the flank, coming through that green corridor, does find one for himself. He's about to take the swing onto the finger, doesn't quite realise she's approaching, and ends up losing out on that engagement. Thorn goes down to 1 HP. It's going to be another 2v4 situation for the side of Entropy, and now a 4v1, as Freddy finds a second on the same angle.
Yeah, Freddy just not moving as long as it works. He's in a strong position, and it's clearly the Entropy Gaming is not ready for the position. Now it's Galahad finding all himself in this 1 versus 3 situation, as he does take out NT, but he still has 3 more defenders to worry about. Potentially still Freddy in that same strong position, and the question is, will Galahad die from that same angle? We might find out very soon as he's trying to go and attempt to peek it, but he still has the nades. He can throw a nose. Freddy, who's slightly moved, but still gets a similar kind of kill. A free K here for Freddy, and securing the round here for the team EOS. ES, putting the score on 3-1.
Yeah, very well played from that side. Did very well to actually secure 3 kills for himself on that on that backstairs angle. And I mean, realistically, if you're able to find kills like that coming into the start of the second quarter of the game, you're going to be feeling very comfortable coming into, especially your attacking half, because that's going to revolve a lot around your gunplay, specifically on this map. With them going into round numero 5, they are going to be just. Sorry, I didn't know what round it was. I was just kind of like adding suspense.
Right.
I just leave a lot of gaps in the way I speak because my English is terrible, even though I was born here. Yeah, don't worry about me. I just can't structure real sentences. But Freddy, now 5-1 after finding a 3K in that last round, is going to be very confident, puts himself onto a bit more of a fragger type role, picking up that Valkyrie, and is going to be playing around that main lobby area alongside N-Team, who has been a very dominant force on the top floor site in the previous rounds. Is going to just kind of split apart and separate themselves to see if they can find kills of their own and apply pressure across multiple standpoints, but Frostmat goes up on the tower side in anticipation of an Amaru coming through, or potentially just that big tower pressure in general. But hopefully, for Entropy's sake, they are able to spot out the pressure for themselves and also spot out that Frostmat, so they aren't getting caught by a little silly piece of gadgetry that is annoying.
Frost. Engagement might happen here any second as we lose our huts. We can no longer see where the Frost is, but the Nomad still has the line of sight and gets damaged quite a bit there by the Frost. And not successful in taking out the Frost as she should have been able to spot her out, but Vessi still being able to play her, disrupting the attack quite a bit, taking out those drones and just wasting loads of time here on the side of the offense. Avoiding those flashbangs and just getting ready for any attacker to make a mistake to enter, who will then fall to the Frost trap or to her gun. And yeah, just wasting a huge amount of time here from the attacking side.
Indeed, we do see Fixware going to be taking a bit of an engagement against the player that is going to be hovering around inside of Armory right now. It was the Mozzie by the looks of things, and Nerdy manages to get a kill onto Tyro with the Claymore as he does get a bit over aggressive. And now we're going to be seeing these flashbangs sing into this big tower area. Is anyone going to actually suffer, or are we going to be seeing this player remain? And indeed it is the player going to be remaining on this upper echelon of the tower, and he finds one more onto the player on the window below. It is traded back though by Fixwiz, as now we have, well, one nade remaining across 2 players that did bring nades in the beginning of this round. So with this gridlock going down, potentially able to get the res here as they are just trying to clean up these kills. Isn't able to find it onto Freddy, and that's going to be the round over. The side of BOS finding one more.
I just really want to ask: was the Frost worth it? They took more than 1 minute and 40 seconds to finally engage that Frost up in Big Tower, and then not even succeeded. Was it worth it to put so much pressure and so much focus on the Big Tower?
Of course not. It was an awful decision to apply that much pressure for that long. Like, realistically, if you're not able to clear out that top level of tower in the first 30 seconds, you should probably go for some kind of rotate or try and nade from the window that was it Yana or Maverick? It was Maverick, wasn't it? Because he was using the white haired skin. Yeah, so it's like you. Well, no, it wasn't the white haired skin. It was the player card. It must have been Yana. But it's like you realistically just nade from that window below, and it's like if you're able to pressure them over to that side of the top of tower anyway, you're kind of like able to get the vertical nade as well. And I think that was kind of just a missed opportunity on the side of Entropy. They weren't really able to isolate this player, but we're going to be going to the second, well, technically the 4th site, if we consider it to be 1, 2, and 3 that we've seen so far. And we're going to be seeing if they're actually able to play this much better, or even the same effectiveness as their previous round. Because if they play it to the same effectiveness, then they're going to be suffering quite a bit on the side of the defense.
Yeah, one thing seems to be clear from the side of EOS that they're going to put at least one player back again in the top layer of big tower, which was so extremely successful the last time around. It's going to be the Frost one more time. And the question is, will they put so much focus on her again and fail miserably, or will they be more successful this time around? The fact that they are kind of approaching the building from the western side seems a little bit more positive and just a bit more ignoring the Frost, who cannot really do too much from that side anyway. So another approach from this side. I'm curious to see what the members of Entropy can really do.
Indeed, it looks like Ram is going to be trying to take some aggression onto the castle in the corridor, but gets caught, and Galhite has to quickly clean that up for himself. Some vertical pressure. I almost thought he got the kill there, as it was actually the Buck to clean one up inside a bedroom. He does get the kill for himself and ends up getting traded out as he is DBNO, but the C4 there to clean it up on the bedroom door. 2v3. One player going to be pretty much 1 HP on that Yana. Nexus is going to have to play a little bit more careful, especially considering it's approaching towards this hatch. The breach going to be opened by the Thermite and potentially going to be going for the plant here.
Indeed, and now with the termite charge being activated, the wall will be opened up. A nice line of sight and entry point toward the bomb site from where they can start making their move. Freddy and Tim both fairly close to the bomb site, with Freddy here on the flank. This could turn out very nasty as he now gets a kill there on Galad, but there's the termite still playing there. Doesn't get the kill on the termite yet, but the man advantage has been disrupted here from the side of Entropy. It's now a 2 versus 2 with still 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining. Nexus is very low on HP, where termite is now trying to go for the engagement, but doesn't look at the right position. Freddy gets the kill onto Nerdy. That's the diffuser on the floor. Not quite sure whether the members of EOS are aware of this, but with Nexus now left in the situation with very little HP, needs to retrieve the diffuser, things are not looking great for Entropy.
Definitely not. Does retrieve the diffuser, is going to have to make his way over and try and take the engagements against these players on the far side. This one of them, the Mute, is going to be hovering around inside of security. He doesn't quite see him. He takes a swing through and ends up dying, and now it's going to be a 5-1 half in favor of EOS. And now Entropy. Not going to be looking good for them coming into the rest of this. And I think realistically, if they are to lose out this game, it's going to be a bit of a struggle for them to actually be able to get themselves secured in the top 4. And I don't even think it's going to be possible.
Yeah, some spicy operator background there on the side of EOS. But like the fact that it's a 5-1 score and we're now seeing the roll swap, there is some opportunity here for Entropy Gaming on the defense. There's a good chance they will be able to secure some rounds. Is it not too late? The 5-1, 4 rounds are needed here on the defensive side for Entropy to bring it to an even score of a 5-5. And I can see Entropy win maybe like 2-3 rounds, but 4 seems a bit too far.
Yeah. So with the way it is right now, obviously, as you just said, they need to win 4 in order to equalize, whereas the side of EOS have to win 1 in order to reach match point. So, going to be a very big struggle for the side of Entropy, but their defense did prove out very effective for them on their clubhouse game last week. So, potentially, we could be seeing a bit of a strong performance coming out of the side of Entropy, considering they were willing to go to this map. And they were happy to go to this map. They have to have something prepared and in the bag. And with a lot of teams, it usually revolves around the defensive side.
Indeed, the defense tends to be the stronger side in this game. Flawless here, trying to make use of the defensive side to go for spawn peek. Doesn't, in the end, really spot the player. Might have seen him for a little bit, but doesn't really secure a proper line of sight and retangle placement. So doesn't go for the engagement in the end, which might be just smart. But then Badvezi already with the Brava, not an operator you tend to see too often. But when she comes out, she can be very effective. Default cam already being captured and being used now for the defensive side, which the drone is currently looking for more, potentially running into Gemma there, so she might need to be careful. But it's Tim getting the Claymore kill there on Nexus. That's the first opening kill with the Torn already being taken care of.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the side of Entropy. A bit of aggression coming out of Freddy on this attic side. Tim finds 1 more onto Pixblizz, as the Monty's going to be getting aggressive onto this trophy door. They're going to be seeing if they can actually get themselves in. The FNAT does capture the Monty's LOS for at least a little bit and keep him on his toes, especially with this player playing so aggressively on the door. Almost runs into the the Flores drone, as it is going to be postured up inside of that games area. They're going to be clearing out the shield on the bedroom door now, as they're just slowly whittling away at this entropy defense. Nobody going to be coming up white, but they're still in fear of it, as Brava's going to be making her rotation around to that side. And now we see one more fall. It's a 5 versus 2 now. Entropy, are you even there? Nobody is going to be answering the door, and it's just going to be Guilehite left alone on these white stairs. Tries to go for the vertical C4, gets caught out by
Flawless.
N-Team, and that's going to be a flawless round for the side of EOS on their first attack.
Yeah, that's also a match point for EOS as they now find themselves on a 6-1 score. Only one round has been coming from Entropy Gaming so far. And if Entropy Gaming still wants to work things around, they now need to win 5 rounds in a row, which is just going to be an almost impossible task here. Yes, again, they might secure a few rounds, but it might already be all over. And I can imagine that Entropy Gaming is not feeling too happy about this match. And this might just well be the very last round of this match. Where we're now going to supply room, laundry room. If there's going to be a defensive round that Entropy is going to win, it should be this one.
Well, coming into the potential and likely to be final round of this matchup, it is 6-1 right now, as we do see such a powerful offensive start for the side of ELS, managing to come out with a flawless round. It didn't even look close. They were just slowly picking away at the different bits of gadgetry that they left in place to try and deal with them and stave them off. And because they just weren't able to keep that gadgetry alive and weren't able to play around not having it, they ended up losing out. And I think that this is going to be a persistent thing coming into especially a basement defensive hold.
Yeah, indeed. This is going to be the moment that Entropy has a chance to score some point here at one, for this potential final round, but also the members of EOS. I can imagine they could get pretty aggressive for this round and really give everything they got to also secure those rounds in their favor. And with them now approaching the building, they're going to look for their first way in, a little bit spread out so they can approach the building from various sides, but with barely any roam presence, or potentially not even a single bit of roam presence. No, every player except that Legion was now making his way towards meeting and kitchen hallway. That's the only bit of line of sight, and especially also with the Jackal in play, he's going to be spotted out pretty easily. And I guess soon the members of EOS will soon be on the doorstep of Entropy and will make their defense a living nightmare.
Is now N-Team almost able to find the angle onto the player that's going to be hovering around. Fixwiz takes a little bit of a sprint pass, ends up getting injured by the man on the long angle from the hatch, and now this player getting aggressive on the outside is going to be Freddy G, but isn't able to secure anything for himself, as he does only really get the injure, which was the Jackal that found it anyway. Now they're going to be using the Habana pellets to open up the hatches, and they're just going to be slowly whittling away. Once again, like I said, they managed to get a bit of damage onto that player. That does destroy the track stingers. Oh, it doesn't actually. I thought it did.
No.
I'm losing my mind. I'm lying to you.
Well, that's okay. It's still a 5 versus 5 with half of the round remaining. Loads of damage there on the Legion, but besides that, not too much has happened. Besides EOS, of course, getting loads of control. Naked, however, with the opening kill, taking out Tero and Gaga with the kill. Anti, will we finally see Entropy secure a round after losing so many in a row? It should be possible. It's a 3 versus 5. They should win this round, but EOS, of course, is not giving up. They are having a man disadvantage, but they're not giving up. They're going to give every single bit of strength they have to still win the round and end the game in their favor. But then also Vessi falls. It's now 2 versus 5.
We are seeing a bit of aggression come out of Entropy now as a different beast. A new beast that they haven't yet seen in this matchup so far has awakened, and they could potentially fire back from that flawless round into another one for themselves. Freddy G going to be the last man standing on this gridlock. A very good operator to be the last man standing on, because you're able to cut off your own flanks. You also have a lot of this utility. He is going to be bringing along the MP grenade. It's not going to be worth anything to him as Nickit makes his way up the stairs and returns fire with another flawless round in return.
This time a flawless round from NCP Gaming, and I'm just quickly here bringing up Wikipedia to have a quick look at the match from last week from NCP, because it's something that you brought up earlier when you and me were talking against to each other. Because last week we saw NCP Gaming versus LDL, where the match started out with a what was it? Oh, I'm actually.
Excuse me.
Oh, started with a 3-3 score where almost. Oh, now I remember. The game started out with an 0-3 in the favor of LDL, but then Entropy Gaming started with a huge comeback, brought it to 4-3, but then LDL fought it back again and turned it into a 4-7 score. So Entropy Gaming tends to make late comebacks, which sometimes tend to be too late. But if Entropy is going to make a comeback, this could be the start for it.
Yeah, if they're gonna fire on all cylinders, they're definitely gonna have to start doing it now. And I mean, this is do or die here for them. They can't really lose another round. Well, they literally can't lose another round unless they make it to 6-6.
Yeah, so 4 rounds is all that Entropy needs. 4 rounds without losing a single one. Like I always say, it seems like an impossible task. It isn't exactly impossible, but it's going to be extremely tricky. But this role swap, where they're now playing on the defense, might make things a little bit more possible.
Definitely so. They are going to be taking a bit of an aggressive stance towards this bedroom door. More than likely going to be going for some kind of spawn peek onto the players that do make their way up onto the van, but it doesn't look like anyone's going to be going for it as of this point in time. The Black Eye Shield of the Monty going to be making his way over towards that area and potentially going to be trying to push in through the bedroom door, maybe even trying to make his way up those armory stairs. The Mute going to be hovering around inside of the attic, and it looks like this upstairs hold is going to be a little bit more difficult than the previous time. The Monty getting into the closet, clearing out the utility on the inside without actually risking his life too much. And the nade from below could potentially find the Fenrir here if he's not careful. Doesn't quite, but still a bit of a risk, especially if they're able to locate the positions of a few of these players. The Mute Jammer doesn't quite get that drone as Mute ends up having to find it himself. And now with these holes being opened up, they're going to manage to get the injure onto the Mute. But he drops down the hatch, and now he's going to be quite safe.
I don't think Freddy's aware of his injury that he achieved there, but Monty already inside of side. Also, Vessi with the kill on Gal Heights. It's a 5 versus 3 with one player who was actually has been revived right now. It's a 5 versus 3 with, like I said, Monty already inside, gathering loads of information and also being extremely intimidating. Walls being opened up. Vessi with the kill on Nerdy. It's a 5 versus 2. 2 members of Entropy left standing. Nickit and Nexus. They need to do it for the team. They need to extend this match if they still want to have a chance to win. But in the end, one more falls. It's all coming out of Nickit. The final player of Entropy, and also he falls to the side of NT, and this is a round then going to the side of EOS, winning this match with a 7-2 score.
Indeed it is, and once again, Entropy are able to really return fire against a team and against an opponent that just had so much sort of going for them in return. And I think that with how it went, you've just got to kind of be upset and afraid of how unfortunate these last 2 losses have been for the side of Entropy. And I think that coming into at this point, potentially the next season, it is going to have to be reworked on their strat book.
Yeah, for sure. And with this match being done, a 7-2 score, we can actually take a quick look at the standings of what they look like after this play day for today. So let's take a quick look here. We can see every team has now 3 matches completed, with a 4th coming on this Saturday. But one conclusion we can draw is that Linux Defense League, LDL, and Mafia Squad both have secured a place in Phase 2 of ESA Cup, where Team EOS also has technically secured enough points to potentially make it. The only thing that still could ruin this dream for them is the round difference. So if either Eagle Empire or Entropy Gaming secures 6 points and secures enough rounds, and EOS potentially even lose some rounds in their favor, then Team EOS could still lose their spot, but that might be unlikely, and they also still have a good chance to earn some points as well. But also Zach Gaming right behind EOS, also finding themselves in a good position, but they will need some more points to strengthen the position, because still Eagle Empire and Entropy could potentially still take it from them.
Indeed they could. As you said, if any of the next 2 playdays, obviously Playday 1 was missed for this group, so Playday 1 is going to be played on Saturday the 11th for anyone that still doesn't know. So realistically, with that at hand, that means if either of these 2 bottom teams are able to secure themselves 6 points, they're potentially going to be able to overtake, and also if the round difference actually does work out in their favor, which likely it won't, they are going to be able to really secure themselves as one of these playoffs teams. And I think that sort of desperation could be exactly what things like people like Entropy need. And yeah, that's all I've really got to say.
Yeah.
How about yourself?
Yeah, that basically means that Eagle Empire and Entropy need to secure at least 2 points on this Saturday to still have a chance to take that fourth spot in this group. But if they score anything less than that on this Saturday, then basically Group D is going to be decided which 4 teams will make it to the next stage. The only thing that's still at stake is the seeding, of course, which is also somewhat important. It can give you like a little nice head start in the Swiss table, as you then will play like a very low team, like a high team will play a low team and a low team will play a high team. So that's still one thing that could be quite important, but in the end, you will still face teams of a similar kind of skill level. But it can just give you that bit of a head start, which can be important, but is not the end of the world or the best thing ever. So yeah, that's basically it for today. If we're just taking a quick look here at the schedule, we will be back on Wednesday with, I believe that's going to be Group A, I would say. Yes, it's going to be Group A on Wednesday. So that's Sevens Esport versus AGM, Before Effect versus Elements, and Pulse Nation versus Minions. So we'll be back on Wednesday on the same time as always. So for now, I want to wish everyone a good evening. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you all on Wednesday. Good evening.
Peace.